Well, we ready, man. Back with some more content. Like I said, where y'all at? Shout out to the fam, man. Shout out to the fam. Most definitely, man. We gonna get it. Hold on, let me turn that off. We don't need no background noise, man. So we here. We had a wonderful show this morning, man. Wonderful show. And we doing pretty good over there, man. The numbers looking good. Everything worked itself out. Mm-hmm. Hit that like button, family. FBA all day. Shout out to you, man. Reckless Podcast 816. Yes, sir. We gonna give the people some time to get up in here, man, and you know how we do it. You know how we do this thing, man. So where you guys at? Salute to everybody. Oh man, it's gonna be wonderful, man. Another show. Hit that like button. It ain't nothing. Shout out to the people in the chat, man. Let the people get up in here, man. It is what it is. We ain't looking for no slow drag. Tammy said, I love this morning's show. Yeah, man. I told you I'm going to continue to hit y'all with this hot fire, 10 toes down, ambitions as a rider. My ambitions as a rider. I had to get my Tupac on, man. Shout out to all black people worldwide, man. Shout out to the people. See, right now we got to do what we got to do for FBA. Then eventually we're going to connect black folks globally. But right now we got to connect FBA. You know, we got to clean up your own house first, and then we'll extend the olive branch to people who are worthy. You know how we get down and dirty. You heard me? Support is free. Nine. You troll it in the comment section. Miss Make Me a Drink. What's popping? Shout out to my dog Scoop for being up in the building. A lot of my people couldn't wait for this one, man. They said, oh man, you gotta do one on your boy Dubs. You gotta do something on your boy Dubs. And you know how we gonna get it. Now, Dub said that Hoover Gumby was racist. Well, I can understand why he would say that because Hoover Gumby said some things that he didn't have to say. I wish Hoover Gumby would have. I wish he would have just, like addressed what Lucky from Hoodstock say, but he didn't have to, use the words that he used. And I don't even want to repeat the words because, like I said, I don't use those words. I deal with people's talking point. Now, Dubs ain't really listen. Dubs ain't say nothing disrespectful. Now he said a few things that was incorrect, but I don't think he was disrespectful. So I'm gonna keep it respectful with him. I'm just here to correct a few things. That's all I'm here to do. Shout out to the ladies though, man. You know, tap on in with us, man. So what are we looking like real quick? Hold on, let me check something. We finna dive into this conversation. Soon as we get to that 5 minute mark, we're gonna dive into this conversation. Soon as we get there. Every day, all day. My ambitions as a rider. All right, man. Seems like we got enough people. Well, when somebody says something about your race, he had the right to give his opinion on this. So I'm not even mad. I'm not mad at him for giving his opinion on this one. Like I said, man, I'm just here to correct some things. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Damien. Shout out to Damien in the building. I appreciate it. Anyway, man, let's get into it, man. We ain't gonna waste no time.
So it looks like Spody Face from 40 Crip called out Lucky from Hoodstocks. It's funny, huh? We say Lucky from Hoodstocks. He's actually from a well-known barrio. But I think it's better that we say Lucky from Hoodstocks, right? This is a dude that he did his thing. He'd been to the joint. He did his street thing. And now he's doing something that's positive for his family. Unfortunately, he attempted a joke.
Yeah, shout out to the Viral Way podcast, man. I heard the shout out from Viral Way. Shout out to our Long Beach brothers, man.
And it was on camera. He attempted a joke. And it was on camera. And it was out there for everyone to see. And I said it the other day. What he said was something that came from the movie Boys in the Hood. The difference was that was two black kids playing when that comment was made on Boys in the Hood. Now, I wanted to react to this video. I debated. I was like, man, I don't want people to just think like everything's getting blown out of proportion. But I wanted to show the contrast between what the OG Gumby from Hoover, the way he addressed this, and the way Spody Face addressed it. You had one disrespect, calling Mexicans wet bees, calling them beaners, calling them Mexicans. And then you have another OG, Spody Face, referring to Mexicans as Mexicans, pointing out the truth, the reality that there are a lot of Mexicans that mess with blacks. Not all Mexicans are racist. And Mexicans are not bred to be racist.
So you say, man. Anyway, I mean, if that's what he's gonna say, then fine. But come on, Dubs. Mexicans have firebombed black people houses for living in East LA. Civilians. I'm not talking about rival gangbangers. So we can't say that. Mexicans in East LA don't even live around black people. And you got NK on the wall. Mexicans in La Puente don't even live around black people. And those are some of the most racist Mexicans you can meet. In El Monte, they write NK. They don't even live around black people. So, of course, a lot of them are bred to hate blacks. These essays don't even live around black people. And look at all that hatred they got for black folks. So I disagree with you on that. You ain't never seen black people firebomb the houses of Mexicans just because they live in a black community. That's never happened. But you have black people on the other hand who's had their homes and apartments firebombed just for living in East LA, a predominant Mexican community. So I disagree with that. And I have the facts to prove what I'm saying.
Spody Face said he would like to get in the ring. He would like to do some MMA, and I'm going to say right now, I hope that never happens.
That's like Little Village, man. If you speak to blacks in Chicago, Little Village is the same way. Little Village in Chicago is a Mexican area, and they're known to jump on blacks. I did a live stream about a black kid getting jumped. He got his jaw broken. The Mexicans in Little Village, Chicago beat this boy so bad, put him in the hospital. So Little Village in Chicago is the same as East LA and Los Angeles.
I hope everything stays content. I hope this opens up a mature dialogue, creates an understanding, because Let me say something. The other day, I looked, since this happened, since this occurred, I saw a clip, and on Hoodstocks there were some black dudes on Hoodstocks, and Lucky was right there interviewing them, and they were all clowning, and the black dude told Lucky, "Man, y'all fork is a tortilla," and everybody laughed about it. And I get it. People will say, well, that's because both races or both ethnicities were there and they were clowning. The hell's on there? And on this occasion, it was a Mexican man. Well, it was two people where no blacks were involved. Now, I don't want to get into the whole ethnicity stuff, because regardless of if Lucky is Mexican or not, he's from a barrio, and that's the reality.
That's true. Dubs only been around black people in prison. Dubs is from Santa Barbara. There's no black gangs in Santa Barbara. There's no sizable black population in Santa Barbara. So Dubs' experience with blacks come from prison and the youth authority.
Right? People are throwing it on an ethnicity because of gang stuff, and that's being overlooked. And like I said, I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion, man. I just do want to point out a couple things. So, Spody Face showed respect, and he'll get respect. That video he did will go a long ways, man. A lot of raza will dig his style because he didn't shoot at everybody, unlike what Gumby did. And I don't got nothing against Gumby. I don't know that dude. I don't know either one of them, but the approaches of the two men are drastically different. Now I'm 51 years old. I'll be 52 in March, right? And I'm not one of the look. I got a bald head. I'm tatted everywhere.
And listen, man, this ain't no disrespect to Dubs. I just disagree with a few things he said. Let's continue.
You will never hear me use the N word. You will never see me sagging. I'm not from the era. And so when I hear people say, both men said, if you hate black people so much, why are you trying to be black? And for a lot of these youngsters, you need to ask yourself why you dress the way you dress. Raza have our own style, our own way of talking, dressing, conducting ourselves.
The old Mexicans had their own way of talking and dressing, not these youngsters. People in your generation had their own way of talking, had their own way of dressing. So when we're speaking on Mexicans acting like they're black, we're talking about the Mexicans today. The fitted hats, the gold chains, on the dead homies, on the set, rapping, dressing and talking. Their whole vernacular is black. You know this, Dubs. Come on, man. Now, when Mexicans was cholos, they had their own culture. This new generation of Mexicans, they're not cholos. They don't have their own culture. That's what we're talking about. But even back then, even the cholos back in your day wanted to make rap music. Rap music comes from black culture. But of course, Dubs is going to say, we did it together. No, it wasn't no together. We didn't do anything together. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, we've always created our own music, and we never needed another race or another group to help us create no music. Study the music that we made in this country. Study the history, and it speaks for itself.
And so when anyone questions why you wear tight clothes and have these haircuts and use the N-word more than a black man, and that's a fact. I see people that are not black use
wearing tight clothes don't mean that you dress black. Black, we got a certain way of rocking our clothes. Some of us wear fitted clothes, some of us wear tight clothes. You know what I mean? Now, we used to wear baggy clothes back in the early 2000s, back in the 90s, but now you see blacks, man, we wear, it might be a little baggy. Either it might be a little baggy, just a little bit, or it's going to be fitted. Then you got the youngsters who wear skinny jeans. I can't rock with the skinnies. I'll wear some fitted jeans, but not no skinnies.
Use the N word more than any black people. That's a fact. It's a horrible look. However, you need to ask yourself why you dress the way you dress. We, hey, Raza have our own style, our own way of talking, dressing, conducting ourselves. And so when anyone questions why you wear tight clothes and have these haircuts and use the N word more than a black man, and that's a fact. I see people that are not black use the N word more than any black people. That's a fact. It's a horrible look. However, I want to say this. When these men say, why you listen to rap music? We've been a part of hip hop since the formation of hip hop. Whether it be through rap, whether it be through DJing, whether it be through graffiti, whether it be through dancing, break that. Raza have been a part of it from jump.
No, you guys participated. See, participation and creation is not the same, Dubs. It's not the same. We've been there since day one. Here they go with the proximity argument. Latinos had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop. You guys participated in hip hop, but you had nothing to do with the creation of it. Show us the music that Mexicans and Latinos made prior to hip hop. Had no urban flavor to it, had no urban style whatsoever. Latinos' connection to urban music came through hanging around black people. You guys learned it from us. Prior to hip hop, we made urban music. I can show you videos of black folks breakdancing and doing dance moves on the floor in the 1930s. Show me the Latinos dancing on the floor doing breaking on the floor in the 1930s and 40s. You're not going to find it. Black people was already rhyming over beats prior to hip hop. You don't see no Latinos doing that because it's not a part of your culture. But they always want to use this argument. We was there since day one. No, you participated in hip hop after we created it. After foundational Black Americans created it, then you guys participated. Participation is not creation. Damn, man.
The formation of hip hop. Any black people, that's a fact. It's a horrible look. However, I want to say this. When these men say, why you listen to rap music?
Dubs don't even understand the elements of hip hop. He don't understand that the elements of hip hop came from the music that we created prior to hip hop. Dubs don't understand that. I could easily kill his argument. Show me the music that Mexicans and Latinos made to prior hip hop. Then I'll show you the music that foundational Black Americans made prior to hip hop. Hip hop came from sampling the music that we created before, sampling disco records, sampling jazz, sampling maybe even some blues records, funk music. Hip hop ain't nothing but a sample of music that we created prior to hip hop. But of course, Dubs wouldn't know that because he's not educated when it comes to music. He keeps saying, and it ain't just Dubs. A lot of Latinos say this, well, we was there in the beginning. We're talking about creation, not participation. Major difference.
We've been a part of hip hop since the formation of hip hop. Whether it be hip hop since the formation. However, I want to say this. When these men say, why you listen to rap music? We've been a part of hip hop since the formation of hip hop. Whether it be through rap, whether it be through DJing, whether it be through graffiti, whether it be through dancing, break that. Raza have been a part of it from jump. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, we've been a part of hip hop from jump. So it's pretty fucked up to try to lessen our impact on hip hop.
Latinos don't influence hip hop, Dubs. I got to be real. I got to call a spade a spade. Hip hop has evolved. You got trap music. You got drill music, gangster rap. crunk music. Show me a rap style that Latinos influence. You can't show me one. Show me a new dance moves that Latinos influence in hip hop. You can't show me anything. All the dance moves, all the slang, all the new styles of rap comes from us. You guys participate in hip hop, but you don't influence hip hop. You don't. I can show you videos right now of blacks in the 1950s and 40s breakdancing, listening to music. And this is prior to any contact with Latinos. You can't show me videos of Latinos breakdancing on the floor in the 1930s and the 1940s. You're not going to see it. There's videos of black people rhyming, rapping. Of course, it wasn't called hip hop, but guess what? Hip hop been around. We just put a label on hip hop in the 70s. That's when we put a label on it. But we was already doing it before we put a stamp on it, before we gave it a name. Everything that you see going on in hip hop was already a part of foundational Black American culture prior to the 50s and 60s. We've been doing this stuff. We just put a label on it in the 70s. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Participation is not creation. Yes, you guys did participate in hip hop, but you didn't create it and you never influenced it. When you listen to when you listen to Latino rappers today, they sound black. They rap in a black, they rap with a black accent, they use black slang. Their whole style of rapping comes from us. Latinos haven't brought anything original to rap. They just mimic what they see black people do. I got to give you the facts. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you no bold-faced lies to cater to somebody's feelings. The truth is the truth. Name one rap style that was influenced by Latinos. Name one. Name a dance move in hip hop now that's influenced by Latinos. You can't. Because Latinos don't influence rap. The creativity and the influence comes from foundational Black Americans. Hands down. I'm giving you the irrefutable facts.
Are Raza the best rappers? No. Are some Raza some impact on hip hop?
What impact did you guys have on hip hop? Show me the influence that you guys have on hip hop. Show me some new dance moves that you guys created. Show me a new rap style that you guys influenced. You can't show me any of that because it's just not true. I could show you several dance moves that was created by blacks that's used in hip hop today. Several different, I could name different styles of rap that we've influenced. We are the innovators. We are the creators. Foundational Black Americans, we are the culture, hands down. Everybody studies us to learn how to rap better. Everybody studies us to learn how to dance better. Foundational Black Americans created jazz. We created rock and roll. We created funk music. We created the blues. We created gospel. We created funk music. Country music was created by white people, stole country music, but it was created by foundational Black Americans. We've never needed another race to help us create no music. And if you don't believe me, just study the history of foundational Black Americans in this country. Study the history of music. You ain't got to take my word for it. Mexicans and Latinos grew up listening to salsa and mariachi, and that's cool. That comes from your culture. But Latino music has never influenced urban culture. It never have. Our parents listened to Al Green, the Isley Brothers. You see what I'm saying? James Brown, Motown. And the list goes on. B.B. King. You got Luther Vandross. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on and on. We've never been influenced by another race musically. But guess what? The whole world has always been influenced by the music we made. Nobody in a right mind is going to believe that Latinos all of a sudden helped us to create hip hop. You guys grew up listening. Your parents played mariachi and salsa music. That's the music that comes from your culture. That music has never had an urban influence. Latinos got their urban influence from foundational Black Americans, hands down. There's no disputing that if we're going to be honest. Participation is not creation, but let's move on with the content.
So it's pretty fucked up to try to lessen our impact on hip hop. I have been a part of it from jump. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, we've been a part of hip hop from jump. So it's pretty fucked up to try to lessen our impact on hip hop. Are Raza the best rappers? No. Are some Raza, some Puerto Ricans, some Dominican, are they some of the best breakdancers ever? Yes. Are they some of the greatest graffiti artists ever? Yes. There are 4 elements of hip hop. The Raza been involved.
No, Mexicans are great at graffiti. I give them that. Mexicans are very good at graffiti and art. That's their real talent right there. Nobody's ever been influenced by Latino music. Never. We've never been influenced by music that comes from Latinos. Just never happened. You know, you never seen our parents or people in our community playing Latino music. We've always had our own music. Our music influences the world, man. Those are just the facts. But to be honest with you, Mexicans are great when it comes to graffiti. When it comes to art and graffiti, Mexicans have some of the best. They have some of the best people with graffiti. The way they write, the way they use, the way they, paint those letters on the wall. Yeah, they're great when it comes to art and graffiti. Some of your best tattoo artists are Mexican. People who write some of the best graffiti are Mexicans. That is a fact. Listen, homie, I'm gonna give props where they're due. But when it comes to rapping, dancing, and music, nah, that ain't never had no Latino influence, bro. Never.
In all 4 from the inception of hip hop, from the creation of hip hop. Okay? Also, or from the inception of hip hop, from the creation of hip hop. Okay? Also, I don't know if Spotify raps, but let me tell you something. Let's say Spotify, you rap. I'm sure you're probably going to see this video. Let's say you rap.
It's hard to say that, man, because Mexicans been writing on walls for a long time. That's they love to write graffiti. So I can't take graffiti away from them. That's one thing that's something that Mexicans are very good at, graffiti and art. So, they're some of the best when it comes to that.
You put out an album. You put out a song today on Spotify, on all these platforms. Do you want only Black people to buy your shit? You ain't gonna go nowhere. No. Every artist puts out what they put out, and they want as many streams as possible. You want whites, blacks, Asians, raza, everybody to buy your music. So
we buy Mexican food, but we ain't running around saying we created tacos and burritos. But we love the food. We buy it. We're loyal customers. We enjoy Mexican food. A lot of our people love Mexican food. We spend our money on it. The elote man. Now, people like to accuse us of robbing the elote man, but that's only a small percentage of people. Most Black people in the Black community, we would buy corn from Mexicans. We would buy the slushies from the Mexicans. So we spend money with Mexican business. Listen, we spend money with Mexicans, man. We're not racist. When the elote man would come with the little bell and the ding, 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 you get the elote with the little Parmesan, the little lemon, the lime on it. You put the little butter on it. Hey, man, them things was good. We spent our money with you guys. And it ain't no problem because people spend money on things they love. Mexicans and Latinos spend money on hip hop because they love it. They're influenced by it. So it just is what it is.
Disingenuous to say, man, don't listen to my music. Don't listen to our music.
We didn't say don't listen to our music. What we said is stop copying the culture while disrespecting us. Everybody likes to cosplay our culture and copy our music. Then you got people who are disrespectful at the same time. You don't see black people making mariachi music while disrespecting Mexicans. You don't see us do that. But you do see Mexicans who make rap and hip hop music, but they don't like black people. That's what we're talking about. We're calling out those people.
Don't buy Jordans. And Jordans are made in China and Taiwan and other places. Buy
Yes, for cheap labor. They're not the creators, they're the manufacturers. They use people in those countries because the labor is cheap. Don't try to downplay Jordans. Oh, well, it's made here. The style of Jordan came from black people. If you go back to the 90s and early 2000s, Mexicans wasn't even wearing Jordans like that. They weren't even dressing like that in the 90s. If you go back to the 90s, you seen us wearing Tommy Hilfiger, Polo, Nautica, Eddie Bauer, Dockers, Polo, Carl Kanai. You know what I'm saying? The style comes from us, man. If you look at the way that people rap, the way that they talk, the way that they dress, all of that comes from foundational black Americans, 100%, bro. This new generation of Mexicans, they don't want to be cholos. The young generation of Mexicans have embraced black culture. They don't want to be cholos. Why? Because there's no place for cholo. You can't be a cholo in hip hop. Nobody's going to take you serious in hip hop dressing and talking like a cholo. This is why the new generation of Mexicans don't want to be cholos, because they're heavily influenced by hip hop. And they know being a cholo has no place in hip hop. Nobody wants to see cholos in rap music. That's not taken seriously in hip hop, and they know this. This is why the young generation of Mexicans they stepped all away. They separated themselves from cholo culture, this new generation of Mexicans.
a white man's company. Come on now. We all pretty much, especially out here in California, we all grew up near each other.
Yes, we did grow up near each other, but our culture is our culture, just like your culture is your culture. Black people don't make money off of Mexican culture. We don't. We don't make money off you guys' culture. We make money off our own culture. That's just the honest to God truth.
Raza have been wearing Jordans since Jordan came out.
No, they haven't.
We've been wearing Cortezes.
Mexicans in LA was not wearing Jordan since they came out. If you go back to the 90s, look at how Mexicans was dressing in the 90s. Not all black people was walking around in Dickies and flannels, gangbangers. But if you was a player and you was getting money, the gang members who was getting money in the black community wasn't running around in Dickies and Pendletons all day. Local gang members who only had access to the SWAT meet would buy those cheap clothes at the SWAT meet, bro. But black people with style back in the 80s, back in the 90s, they wore stylish clothing. You remember we wore the Adidas jumpsuits, Fila jumpsuit, Nike jumpsuits. Gang bangers who was getting money was not running around in no damn Dickies and with no damn Dickies and Pendletons every day. If you was getting money, if you was a player, if you had style, you wasn't running around in no damn Dickies every day. You just wasn't doing that. Now, some of your local gangbangers who just wanted to wear t-shirts and Dickies, yeah, you had gangbangers who would that. But gangbangers who love getting fly, gangbangers who would go to clubs, gangbangers that was getting money, they became players, they became hustlers. They wasn't walking around with Dickies and Pendletons all day like that. Not in the black community. You can go back to the 80s and 90s and look at the cats who was getting money and look at how they dressed.
You know, look at the Raza are the ones that founded the low riding culture. I've never heard a Mexican say, well, stop driving our cars. They're not our cars. We hooked them up and other people took a liking to it and they joined the scene and they were welcomed.
Low riding culture, man. For one, nobody cares about low riders, right? And that's debatable because you got black people who had low riders, right? Way back then. Mexicans were just low riding. They wasn't side to side. And a Mexican wasn't the first person to put hydraulics on a vehicle. They wasn't. I got to be real with you. Yes, they made Mexicans became the face of low riding, but Mexicans wasn't the first person to put hydraulics in the vehicle. That's not true. But let's say if you guys wanted to gatekeep lowrider culture, we don't care about lowriders. I mean, you got OG blacks who might care about lowriders, but blacks of today don't care about lowriders. Lowriders don't influence culture like that. Maybe in certain regions, but hip hop is embraced, and hip hop is embraced worldwide. You can go to other regions of this country. Nobody cares for a lowrider. In Los Angeles right now, most blacks in their 20s, 30s, and 40s ain't running around in lowriders.
There's also another thing, man. You know, there have been, I'll give an example. BG Knockout did a video and he said that Mexicans are allowed to ride on blacks. There are a humongous number of blacks that know that's not true, but never spoke up. There have been black podcasters on a particular podcast who have used racial slurs towards Mexicans. The Mexicans weren't up in arms about it. No blacks check their people like, hey man, don't even go there, because that's going to open up the door for them to retaliate and say something stupid. I'm not condoning what Lucky said. I'm not gonna
Listen, man, BG Knockout said that. People ask me a lot, man, can Mexicans snitch on blacks with no consequences? I never co-signed that. Because as far as I know, Mexicans were known to deal with snitches and chomos. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say that you don't have Mexicans who snitch, because guess what? We got a lot of blacks who snitch. There's whites who snitch. Look at it like this, homie. Some of your Mexican mafia members became dropouts and snitch. Just like you got some high-profile black gangsters who have snitched. You got some Aryan Brotherhood members who have snitched. Listen, homie, once you get individuals facing 100 years and you start facing 100 years, they're going to roll over. They're going to snitch. Don't nobody want to do no 100 years in prison. So the name of the game is, if you think people going to keep it solid and they're going to do 100 years and they say, hey, man, you know you can tell to get out of jail, the average person going to tell to get out of jail. That G code is over with. If they give you half of a century in the penitentiary and you're looking at 50, you crazy if you think these people ain't going to snitch. People got kids, they got family members, they don't want to do all day in prison. So guess what? They are gonna tell. I don't care what race it is. Some people might say, yeah, I'm gonna keep it gangster, I ain't gonna say nothing. When he sit in the penitentiary long enough, he's gonna have a change of heart. You're gonna want to get back to your children, you want to get back to your women, your children. Matter of fact, you just want freedom. You want a taste of freedom. So people ain't gonna do 50 in the penitentiary, they're gonna tell. That G code is non-existent. People ain't living by that no more.
ever try to justify that. That man will speak for himself, and I believe he already has. But if people are going to hold others accountable, then they should also hold their own accountable. There is not the stuff in Southern California.
Listen, man, I don't care about Dubs being a dropout. I'm not even mad at Dubs. I don't have no animosity or hatred towards Dubs. I actually watch some of his content. I watch some of his content. For the most part, he tries his best to keep it respectful. So with that being said, this is why I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just dealing with his talking points. But I have no animosity towards Dubs as a person. If he's a dropout, that's between him and his people. Just because you drop out of a gang don't make you a buster. Now, if you snitch and you do that, that's something different. But dropping out of a gang don't make you a buster in my eyes. The man already did 20-something years in prison. What he supposed to do? Spend the rest of his life in prison? He didn't already gave the penitentiary 25 years of his life. The man wanted a taste of freedom. He wanted to come home to his family. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So Dubs being a dropout, I don't really care about that, homie. That's penitentiary talk. That's prison life. I'm in the free world, man. I don't care about that. You sit in the penitentiary for 25 years and they tell you if you leave your gang, we'll let you out of prison. You do good, you walk a straight line, you go through these programs, you denounce your gang, you can come home to your family. You think people don't want to come home to their family? You want to sit in prison with a bunch of angry men every day? Absolutely not. So I'm not mad at him for dropping out of his gang. Now, I don't know if he told or gave information. I don't know nothing about that. That ain't my business.
It's nothing like it was 30 years ago, man. The fact that these youngsters, these young...
I'm just saying, I don't care about prison politics. That's all I'm saying. I'm dealing with his talking points about hip hop and all this stuff, all that penitentiary, penal code stuff. Man, I don't care about that.
Are so into that culture, it leads people to believe that we're getting further and further and further and further away from what happened in the early 90s. You know,
See, a lot of you people don't have the courage to get on camera and show your face and say the things that I'm saying. It's easy for a lot of you guys to say the things that you're saying because you're doing it behind fake profiles. My face is out there. People know who I am. When I go, listen, homie, when I go out in public, people know who I am. They know who I am in public. I'm not hiding who I am. So it's easy for you to have an opinion and say crazy things about people in the chat, and you're doing it behind a fake profile. I'm not hiding my identity. My identity is out there because I stand on business.
I'm about pushing people to represent their last name over anything and do whatever it takes to make that last name shine. Get an education, start a business, become a lawyer, become a doctor. Those are things that are important. A bad joke was told.
Now let's get into Hoover Gumby. He did this, and shout out to Dubs, man. This is fair use. This is fair use, man. Fair use.
I just saw this thing that happened at Hoodstocks. Adam, he got online and he put out his post and he said anybody who doesn't say anything about this is a coward and this and that, and he's the racial police and all that. Okay. Well, I hope you got your cop hat on. Hope you got your badge on, Adam. Let's talk about something. I just saw an interview with OG Gumby from Hoover. I just saw all the hatred in his face. I heard all the hatred in his voice. I heard all the hatred in his heart when he talked about Mexicans from LA. He used the WB word and Beaner word. Those words weren't bleeped out. So Adam, racial police, racial Fed, racial DEA, racial ATF, whatever you claim to be, call him on that shit. Call him on that. Now, let's get into it. Before we
now, what Gumby said was in response to Lucky Hoodstocks. But now me, I don't use racial slurs to prove my point. I never did. Now, Sonny, the streets ain't loyal, tried to accuse me of that, and I never did it. So I don't know why that man felt the need to lie on me when he made that video saying that Red was calling us, WBs and Beaners, and Red never said anything like that. I've held Mexicans accountable for their racism, but one thing that I don't do is use racial slurs on my channel. I don't do that. So I don't know what made Sonny lie on me.
Well, I want to say this. I'm shocked. Me personally, I'm shocked that a Hoover.
Listen, man, if you're using racial slurs in my chat, they will be removed. If you're using racial slurs towards any group, it will be removed, and eventually you will be blocked. You can listen, you can give your opinion. But you ain't got to be disrespectful to give your opinion. That's all I'm saying. Keep it clean in my comments, family. You're welcome to comment, but don't use any racial slurs towards any group or any race.
Is speaking so much, spewing so much hatred towards raza. There's a big ass barrio that has a clique, the Hoover locals, that were cool with the Hoovers. In all my years that I did incarcerated, I had one single incident with a Hoover. And after that incident, we were cool with each other, and that was in YA when we were kids.
Yes, people use N words towards us, but guess what? I can't go to that level, because if I go to that level, not only is that against my character, talking like that will demonetize my platform, and I'm a professional. So I conduct myself like a businessman. I don't need to use racial slurs to get my point across. Not only is it wrong to use those slurs, I'm a businessman. I'm not trying to get my channel demonetized by talking stupid. So there's many reasons for why I don't use racial slurs in my content. Let's get back to it though.
So let's talk about the first part. The fact that OG Gumby said that the Mexicans in LA ain't Mexicans, they're Mexicans. Racial slur.
Man.
That is a racial slur. Anyone who uses the term Mexican means it to be intentionally disrespectful, and only racists against Mexicans use that term. So I don't want to hear how this dude's talking about we can't be racist, this and that, and you refer to people as Mexican. Intentionally disrespectful. He also used the WB word. He used the word beaner. Now, let's go into his reason why. Check this out. The reasoning in his mind why Mexicans in LA are not Mexicans but Mexicans. The reason is because he says, according to him, he took the stats. He worked with the Census Bureau, right? And he said that 50% of all the Mexicans in LA can't even speak Spanish. So let's start with this.
Well, that's true. A lot of them can't speak Spanish. That's true. Now, would I use racial slurs? No. But I know a lot of Mexicans who can't speak Spanish. Yeah.
Spanish is a white man's language. That's the language of the people who conquered our ancestors. So you mean to say that people who don't know a white language aren't Mexican? That's what you're saying.
There was no such thing as a Mexicans prior to the 1500s. So being a Mexican is something new. That is a label that they threw on you guys. That's not who you guys are as people originally. There was no such thing as a Mexican prior to the 1500s. I'm just giving you historical facts. Now, Spanish is a white man's language. That is a fact. Just like English is a white man's language.
That's your stance. Secondly, if that's your stance and why they are not, and Mexicans are not Mexican if they don't speak Spanish, what African dialect you speak in your home? What African dialect did you wake up speaking? You can't be black then. You ain't African American, right?
All blacks don't come from Africa. First of all, let me correct Dubs on that. This is the difference, Dubs. You guys are first and second generation Mexicans. Nobody in my family came from Africa. I can go back 7, 8 generations and there's no Africans. So we have no connection to Africa. When it comes to Mexicans, a lot of you guys are first and second generation Americans. Now, when it comes to foundational Black Americans, we can't find one African in our family. We can go back 4 generations, 5 generations. There's no Africans. So there's nobody to teach African language. And to take it a step further, you do know that there were blacks on this land. All these indigenous tribes were not red Indians. You got different types of Africans in Africa. You had different types of natives in America as well. A lot of those natives were melanated people. That is a fact. This is scientifically proven. But let me get back to what I was saying. Mexicans are first and second generation Americans. Our parents didn't come from Africa. Our grandparents didn't come from Africa. Our great great grandparents didn't come from Africa. We have no connection to Africa. Our family been in this country for centuries. Now, when it comes to Mexicans, either your parents or grandparents came from Mexico. So you guys have a direct connection to Mexico. We have no connection to Africa. Why? Because our family been in this country for centuries. I can go back 6 generations and you won't find one African. All black people don't come from Africa. Some of us do, but that's one of the biggest lies told. Not all black folks come from Africa, man. And I'm not just speaking for myself. Every foundational black American, they can go back 6 or 7 generations and won't find one African in their family. You're not going to find anybody who came straight from Africa, and we can go back 6 to 7 generations. You guys can go back 1 generation. Your first or second generation, either your parents or grandparents came from Mexico. You guys have a direct connection to Mexico. That's the difference.
Your roots never came from Africa, right? Because you can't speak a damn dialect. Your roots never speaking. You can't be black then. You ain't. What African dialect you speak in your home? What's your stance and why they are not, and Mexicans are not Mexican if they don't speak Spanish? What African dialect you speak in your home? What African dialect did you wake up speaking? You can't be black then. You ain't African American, right? Your roots never came from Africa, right? Because you can't speak a damn dialect. But you know how to say good night and good morning in Swahili? You know how to say crip, blood, and all that in Swahili? Come on now. What African dialect are they speaking in your hood? Come on, this is ridiculous. This is someone who has a voice, man. This is someone who's given platforms to speak. And in a lot of these platforms that he's been on, he has had issues with other black men repeatedly.
Now, I don't agree with Gumby using, racial slurs at all. See, I don't come on here and use racial slurs just because somebody else does. Now, I will correct the behavior. I will call out individuals for disrespecting my people. I've been doing it for years.
And not once in those issues and those beefs and ugly words were used. But never was the amount of hatred in his voice. Never was the amount of hatred coming from his heart. Never was the amount of hatred on his face.
Our people don't come from Africa, man. Our parents, not our grandparents, not our great grandparents. We have no connections to Africa whatsoever. Culturally, we are different from Africans as foundational black Americans. All black people don't come from Africa, Dubs.
But when asked about Mexicans, you see it in his face. You see it, you hear it in his voice. You hear it coming from his heart. And what did he refer to Mexicans as? The enemy. Okay. He went ahead and he's telling the interviewer from Texas and says, hey man, out here we fuck with each other. And Gumby turns around and says, oh, we fuck with the Mexicans too. When it comes to drugs, and he started listing off.
I mean, he was telling the truth. He said we buy drugs from him and we do business with him. Gumby was telling the truth. Now, if I was Gumby, I would stay away from racial slurs because that's not professional. I don't even talk like that off camera. I don't even use racial slurs off camera. I don't say them on camera. I don't say it off camera. What you see is what you get when it comes to King Supreme, 100%. I think that Hoover Gumby could have got his point across without using racial slurs and just said, hey, this is what it is. This is what it is with their culture, and just gave them just spoke on the facts without the racial slurs. But hey, man, Gumby is his own man. He can talk however he wants to talk. Just like Lucky from Hoodstocks is a grown man. He can talk however he wants to talk.
Shit that ain't gonna get the black community anywhere. It ain't gonna get the brown community anywhere. It will lead you to the morgue. It will lead you to prison, incarceration. Like, it will lead you to all the worst shit in life. And that's what we fuck with them on that. Come on, Holmes. You have a platform. You have a voice. You're an OG. There are some people who are going to look to you and be like, hey, he makes sense. And you're spewing hatred. He goes on to say, he tells the interviewer, who's from Texas, man, if you go into Long Beach or you go into Compton, they're going to jump on you. And the guy said, why? Just because I'm black? And he said, yes.
Dubs, you're not from Los Angeles County. You got Mexicans in Compton who write NK on the wall. Once you write NK on the wall, that ain't gangbanging, that's racial. You got Mexican gangs in Long Beach who write NK on the wall. That ain't gangbanging, that's racial. You know how many civilian black people got jumped on by these Mexicans just for being black? Because when you write NK, that ain't got nothing to do with BK, CK, or PK. The moment you put NK on the wall, that is racial. You can't call that gangbanging. Come on, Dubs, but you from Santa Barbara, so you can't speak on LA politics. But at the same time, you got enough common sense to know what goes on in these LA streets. You're an OG. You've been to prison. You know what it is. The Tortilla Flats and other Mexican gangs in Compton was writing NK on the wall. The Lungos, the Mexican gang in Long Beach, was writing NK on the wall. That is racial. You didn't took it a step past gangbanging, then it becomes racial when you start putting NK on the wall. You can't say that's gangbanging. So writing NK on the wall is gangbanging and that ain't racial. Now you're being dishonest.
Long Beach or you go into Compton, they're going to jump on you. And the guy said, why? Just because I'm black? And he said, yes. Come on now. Blacks ain't just victims. They're also perpetrators. Why didn't you tell him about that part? That the blacks are doing the same thing. And it's some gangbanging shit. It ain't based on race.
Writing NK on the wall is race. The Tortilla Flats in Compton was writing NK on the wall. It'd be one thing if they was writing PK, CK, and BK. That's gangbanging. But when you put NK, that is racial. The same thing for the Lungos in Long Beach. The same thing for the Hawaiian Gardens. The Hawaiian Gardens was writing NK on the wall. The 204th Street Harbor City gang was writing NK on the wall. That's racial. That's not gangbanging.
Why didn't you tell him about that part? That the blacks are doing the same thing. And it's some gangbanging shit. It ain't based on race. Long Beach is, look, the raza in Long Beach have been beefing with the blacks as well as the Asians for decades. But that thing in Compton, come on now, that's gangbanging. Straight up. Gumby is probably my age. Maybe he's older than me. I can't tell, right?
The Mexicans in East LA was firebombing black people apartments just for living there. That's racial. That ain't gangbanging. The Hawaiian Gardens Mexican gang was firebombing black people houses and apartments. That's racial. That ain't gangbanging. There's no black gangs in East LA. There's no black gangs in the Hawaiian Gardens area. These are black civilians. Azusa 13. If you go to the San Gabriel Valley, Azusa 13 was writing NK on the wall and attacking random black people just for living there. That is racial. That is not gangbanging. I don't know what this fool is talking about, man.
But he knows in the 90s when it was racial, everybody was going. There were a lot of people who lost their lives on both sides. And then it died down.
Shout out to Chris the Rebel. Shout out to Chris the Rebel for the super chat. I appreciate you. Hey, let's get some people to bless the cash out. Let's get some people to bless the super chat. Really didn't rap, no cat. I'm giving you the hard hitting facts.
And what was left was gang beefs based on territory. Period.
See, this is what makes it hard to have a conversation, a civilized conversation, because they're not being honest. First, he said Latinos was there in the beginning of hip hop. Yeah, they participated, but they had nothing to do with the creation. Let's be honest. Latinos never influenced no new dance moves in hip hop. They never influenced no new rap styles in hip hop. They don't influence hip hop. So give them credit for what? Give them credit for copying what they see us do? Come on, man. Then he went on to say that what's happened. Then he went on to say what's going on in Long Beach and Compton, it ain't racial, it's gangbanging. When you got Mexican gangs in Compton who are notorious for writing NK, Mexican gangs in Long Beach who are notorious for writing NK, and he got the nerve to call it gangbanging. Nah, dude, that's racial. You're not being honest, Dubs. You're an OG, but at some point you got to be honest. We understand the difference between racism and gangbanging. Huh? The mid-city stoners in LA had beef with the 20s, right? I'm from Los Angeles. I grew up in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? West Adams mid-city district, homie. The mid-city stoners wasn't writing NK on the wall. They was writing BK on the wall. They wasn't attacking black civilians. Now, if they thought you was a blood, then they'll get at you. But there was a bunch of black people who lived in mid-city hood, and if you wasn't a blood, they wasn't even tripping like that. That was gangbanging. That wasn't racial. Right? I can only speak for my neighborhood and my community. But they wasn't writing NK on the wall. They wasn't firebombing black people's houses just for living in their community. The mid-city stoners wasn't doing that. They would write BK on the wall, and if they thought you was a blood, then they'll get at you. Now in Compton and Long Beach, that's racial because those fools was out there writing NK on the wall. The Hawaiian Gardens, that's racial because they're firebombing people's house writing NK on the wall. East LA in the Ramona Garden housing projects, they was firebombing people's apartments just for being black. That ain't gangbanging, that's racial.
I just can't believe that somebody, I'm telling you, I'm blown away that he's from Hoover. I met so many cool ass dudes from Hoover.
And there's a lot of dudes from Hoover who disagree with Gumby. Gumby don't speak for all Hoovers. There's a lot of cats from Hoover that disagree with Gumby. There's a lot of cats from Hoover that got decent relationships with Mexicans. I got a decent relationship with Mexicans. I know a lot of Mexicans who are not racist, but unfortunately, you got a lot of them who are. And that's a major problem. When you go to the county jail and prison, Southsiders run under anti-black politics. I met a lot of Mexican. I got Southsider Mexican homies who tell me, hey, Red, if I go to the county in prison, I got to roll with my people. But I don't agree with the racist politics. But if I go against the politics, I'm going to get dealt with. But you know me, Red. You done been in my family house. My people love you. They embrace you. Just like my people love and embrace them. I got Mexican homeboys that I grew up with. They invite me to their house. We eat tacos. We eat carne asada. I eat Mexican food. When they come to my house, we eat barbecue chicken, ribs, and soul food. So it was love on both sides. They invite me to their house. I invite them to mine. I got a lot of cool Mexican partners that I grew up with. And a lot of them was honest. They was like, Red, you know, I got to be honest with you. When I go to prison or the county, my people be on some BS. And if I don't roll with the politics, I'm going to get dealt with. I'm not going to make it home to my family. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. But if I don't roll with it, I'm going to get dealt with. I got a lot of Mexican partners who was honest with me about that. No, I don't like the politics, Red, but if I go against the grain, I'm going to get dealt with. I'm not going to make it home to my family.
Every group has people that hate another group. Every group. In society, in prison, in gangbanging. But not everyone. This dude was talking about how Mexicans are raised to think. Man, it was just some of the craziest shit to hear. And then, look, this ain't my place, but I'm making this video, and I want to point out.
So what they were saying is like, yeah, my people are full of it, man, but if I go against the grain, I'm going to get dealt with. If I see you in county jail, I can't share anything with you. I got a Mexican homie in the streets. I was locked. The last time I've been locked up, homeboy, it's been a long time. This was back in 2008. I got a Mexican partner from Florencia, and I'm not going to say his name, but this is my homeboy. This is one of my closest partners, man. He's from Florence. And on the streets, we would hustle together, get money together. He can come to my house. I can go there. It was all love. I got into it with some Mexicans. He was like, "Where they at? Let's go slide on these fools." So this is my homeboy. He wasn't racist at all. If a Mexican says something to me, he'll be ready to turn up the same way if a black person did it. This is my partner from the streets. He was from Florence, and he told me about a lot of racist politics that was going on with his people and how he disagreed with it. You know what I mean? My brother, I got a younger brother. When my brother got into it with some Mexicans that was picking on him, he was like, "Where they at? Hey, what's cracking, Red? They messing with your people. Let's ride over there. Come on, homie. Let's get it." Now, that's my homeboy. That was my real homie because he was ready to put it in for me. I got black homies who ain't gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight. They ain't gonna do nothing. Although I got some black homies who will. What I'm telling you is I met a lot of Mexicans who are real enough to admit that their politics are racist towards blacks. I grew up with people from different sets, different barrios. Me being from Los Angeles, the inner city. So I know what it is, homie. So you got to stop saying that it's always gangbanging and not racial. Some of these beefs are racial. A lot of these beefs are racial in Los Angeles County. It goes deeper than gangbanging. Dubs is from Santa Barbara. Now, Dubs has done a lot of time in prison, so he understands the politics. But don't get it twisted for 1 second. Some of this stuff is racial. It ain't gangbanging, bruh.
Something that's very serious. Because a lot of people don't know the definitions of certain words, phrases, especially prison phrases, prison words. OG Gumby is calling a platform, internet platform, a sureño platform.
Let's hear what Gumby had to say. That's Dubs right there. It's all love, man. Like I say.
So Blueface is just like hot right now. Like anything.
But do you think he's a good black dude? African American, booty scratcher.
He baited her. She wasn't even trying to talk about that. The Mexican chick was whatever. She wasn't trying to talk about that. Lucky baited her to say something crazy. She wasn't even thinking about that. She was just talking about the politics or whatever. Lucky baited her because he wanted her to say something about black people. You like black people? Why not? Why not? Would you date a black guy? No, I wouldn't. Why not? Why not? The moment that she said she don't date black dudes, you should have left it at that. That's her preference. She has the right to date whoever she wants to date. Instead of Lucky leaving it at that, he kept pressing her. Why not? Why do you don't like black guys? Why not? Huh? Why not?
So Blueface is just like hot right now. Like anything.
But do you think he's a good looking dude? A black dude? African American, booty scratcher.
Hey, real tone, there's some real money in the room.
A Mexican podcaster. I'm gonna call him Hispanic because I don't know his origin.
Mexican. Everybody in LA, they Mexicans. Mexicans, not Mexicans. Mexicans.
Okay. Well, yeah. Why you say not Mexicans?
Because you have to understand that Mexicans come from Mexico. Half the Mexicans in LA don't even speak Spanish.
Yeah.
They didn't adapt it to our culture so much, they're trying to overtake it. They hate us so much, but they want to be like us so much. And it's not a bad thing. We kind of cute. Fun, over though.
Well, that's exactly what this Mexican podcaster said on
Woodstock or some shit like that. Hoodstock or some shit like that.
Something like that. But he goes to He brings up Blueface and asks this other Mexican woman, would she, let him smash? And
But you have to understand.
then
Shout out to AfroNet for the Cash App. Let's get some more of you brothers to bless the Cash App for this wonderful, dope show. This is my second show of the day. We continue to bring you guys this hot heat. Make sure that you support the platform, man.
the response was, black man, African booty scratcher. And her response was, no, against the threat penal code.
Yeah, I understand completely. That podcast is a Sereno podcast. So they spitting Sereno views. The nigga said,
So I don't know why Dubs had a problem with it. Lucky from Hoodstop is talking Sereno politics. Well, Southsider. He may not be a Sereno. I'll say Southsider. He's speaking Southsider politics, Southsider views. That is a fact. So Dubs is in denial. Dubs try to call racism gangbanging. Writing NK on the wall ain't gangbanging. That's racial. Every black gang in Compton should have been offended when the tortilla flats was putting NK on the wall. There's no way you can just say that's between the Pyrus and the tortilla flats. Not if you writing NK on the wall. All the Crips in Compton, all the Pyrus in Compton should have said, you writing NK, we coming for you. Because at that point, it ain't a gangbang. You making it a racial thing when you put that NK stuff on the wall. The same thing with the Mexicans in Long Beach. The moment they put NK on the wall, it's about all blacks. It's no longer gangbanging. It's bigger than that at that point.
fucking booty scratcher, right? The beanie that said that, right? He has to have Sereno influence, period. But you have to understand, I was trying to show you the distinction between a Mexican and a Mexican, right? Those right there are Mexicans. You see her? See her movements? You see how she acts? See how she talks? Charlemagne. See how she talk? That probably was a drug mule back in the day.
What's that? A drug?
You bringing dope to the pig. Square.
Yeah, I'm square.
It's a. I just think that the situation in LA is a racial place. It's a very racial place. And Mexicans are some of the biggest races that they are. I can only speak about LA Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? We all got, you know what I'm saying, the neighbors and Hector and them. Hector, I ain't mean no shit, man. I'm still coming to get my tamales next door. Stop playing, man. But me and him talked about it. It's a older Mexican gentleman that live next door, right? And you know what I'm saying? Even we kind of cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? He been to the pen and shit, you know what I'm saying? But he understands the differences. See, he's not, I won't say he's a racist. I'll say he's a separatist. He's not gonna be disrespectful at all, you know? But he don't want blacks mixing with his race. And that's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing, and it turns racial when you're downing somebody else. When you're saying, oh, African booty scratcher, and you're saying anything bean eating wetback. You're saying any of that shit. That's being disrespectful. We can have our differences and still be respectful. But what they chose to do was they chose to clown us on the platform. They were saying all Hispanic platforms. They wasn't talking to us. That was like a private conversation, you know what I'm saying, that they aired.
Well, why, in your case, stoop back down to their level? Because you did say beaming at the beginning of the conversation, even though, you know what I'm saying?
Because it's tit for tat. Tit for tat don't make it right, but it damn sure make us even.
I can respect it. You know, out here in Texas, we actually mess with the Mexicans.
We do too. We do. We
mess
buy
with
tamales
them
from them. We buy drugs from them. If say that type of shit, we fuck with them. See, in LA, everything's political. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, you got Mexicans that's cool with you, you know what I'm saying? And then you got other ones that are not, that are straight. Look at this shit that's going on with the Longos. Look at this shit going on with in Compton with the Mexicans.
What's going on?
It's a war. That's what I said. They're gonna see you and whoop your ass.
Just because I'm black?
Yes.
No.
Yes. And the craziest thing about it is that, see, black people are so forgiving and loving. I hate you. Like you like this Mexican just spit in our face. I ain't seen. I take that back. I take that back. He spit in our face. But I was gonna say I ain't seen. I did last night when I was chilling last night scrolling on my phone and I seen the boy Munchie B on Hoover. He got on there. He like even though we got our differences, little bro be spitting.
See, Gumby wasn't lying. Certain parts of East LA, it ain't gangbanging. You black, they don't want you over there. In Long Beach, they're writing NK on the wall. The Mexicans don't want you over there. It's bigger than gangbanging. It's NK. We all know what NK stands for. Use your imagination if you don't know. It's simple. But Dub's trying to make it seem like, oh man, Gumby is tripping. It ain't like that. For one, Dubs is from Santa Barbara County. Dubs is not from Los Angeles. Dubs don't really understand LA politics. I mean, he does to a certain extent because he's been to prison, but Dubs is not from LA. He's not from LA County. He's from Santa Barbara. You don't have black gangs out there. Michael Jackson had a mansion out there in Santa Barbara. Huh. Compared to Los Angeles, Santa Barbara is Disneyland. Now, you got gangs everywhere. Don't get it twisted, but compared to Los Angeles, Santa Barbara is Disneyland, my brother. I'm just being real.
Some guy, he know what he talking about. I hope he do half the time anyway, but you know he do. But yeah, what he said was very important. Y'all should go back and watch that because he's giving you our perspective as a gang member dealing with these dudes.
What is your perspective as a gang member?
They the enemy. They the enemy.
So you beefing with most black gangs and the Mexicans as a Hoover?
The police, baby mamas, all that shit.
Hoover Gumby said we beefing with baby mamas, the police. You know what I mean? Deputies in the county jail, correctional officers in prison, Mexicans, rival black gangs. We beefing with everybody. And that is a fact.
Perspective as a gang member.
They the enemy. They the enemy.
So you beefing with most black gangs and the Mexicans as a Hoover?
The police, baby mamas, all that shit.
Why do the blacks and the Mexicans beef out there in LA?
Different reasons, different hood politics like that. You know, sometimes majority of it has to do with drugs, the drug trade. I know.
Was this connection? It's a West Side Connect thing, man.
I know they dress and act like blacks, like from everything, and all that. You know what I mean? A prostitute's best friend is a Mexican. Real life. Get it? Like their culture is so intertwined with ours to where it's indistinct. You can't even distinguish between the two, right? But the problem comes in where the racism and all the bullshit come in with the gangs and the way they were raised. They were raised. All blacks know this. Mexicans was raised.
Marvelous, man. Marvelous said come to his hood. Marvelous. All I got to say is this, man. I know some Matavillas, right? And the Matavilla said that you're not welcome over there, man. Lucky Hood Legends is an OG Matavilla, and he said that you ain't welcome over there. Don't take that up with blacks. You got to take that up with your own people, Marvelous. I mean, you just got to take it out with your own people. You know? Shout out to the Matavillas because the Matavillas did stand up to the inmate and they refused to pay taxes. So that's what I do respect about the Matavillas. They like, nah, we've been around way before the inmate. We ain't paying no taxes. We're not taking orders from nobody. So I do respect the Matavillas for that. You know, maybe if you had more gangs, with that same mentality in that area, man, maybe it would have been a whole lot easier. But yeah, man. But nah.
Not to f with y'all. They think y'all dirty. Y'all don't take baths. All that type of shit. I had a few Mexican, and this is what they tell you. They tell me. It's racist. They racist. They really are. This is how they were raised coming out the womb. And I don't fault them for that. It is what it is. But just let me know you're racist. You know what I mean? When I was in the pen, some of my best partners were skinheads, Nazi lowriders. What's up, Axel? Shout out to my Axel on death row, Hoover though. And that's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah. What, like, how did y'all make a relationship? You and a skinhead?
Mutual respect. Mutual respect. You get it? But him understanding he ain't no bigger than me and I ain't no bigger than him. I understand him. He don't want me on the white bitch. And I damn sure don't want him. Well, I'll take that back. He can let me stop. Let me stop. I'm kind of like on some whole other shit with them right now.
Yes, you and the white boy probably both killed the black, so.
I'm sorry?
So if he could respect.
Well, no, that wasn't it. That's not it. That's not it. No, that didn't have anything to do with any killing. It's just a mutual respect. Like when you're in the prison, like you going from one prison to the next prison to the next prison to the next prison, all with the same people. Like you might go a little bit before him, a little bit after him, but these same people you're gonna keep seeing. This is the community. This is the vast community. And everybody that stays solid know who it is. Like the white boys that be stabbing no, yeah, he gonna stab you. Watch that. We going to him first. Get it? Like, this is how you have to.
Are the white boys like tough in California prisons?
Everybody in prison is tough.
You know, like for the most part, like there are certain units in Texas where, you know, white boys outnumber blacks, lives a unit. But in most prisons, to my knowledge and what I've covered, the white boys sit on the floor. You got Africa, you got Mexico, white boys get the floor. You know what I'm saying? Is it that way in California or is
We're gonna do a show about lowriders tomorrow, man. We're gonna do a show about the history of lowriding. Now, Mexicans claim that, but we got some people who are gonna dispute that, right? And we're gonna do some content on that. Shout out to Dewan B. And yeah, man, be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna schedule that podcast for early in the morning. Just like how we did a podcast early this morning, we're going to do another one tomorrow morning. It's going to be hot. We're going to talk about lowriders, black gang bang. And what people don't know is there was black gangs in L.A. way before Crips and Bloods. See, the difference between blacks and Mexican gangs is Mexicans kept their same names and stuff like that. Black people, we went through different phases. The new generation didn't want to follow the old generation. So that's why you had Bloods and Crips. But prior to Bloods and Crips, you had a lot of gangs and black. There was black gangs around in the 30s in Los Angeles. Maybe even before that. But Bloods and Crips are not the first black street gangs of Los Angeles. They are not. The thing is, when a new generation came up in the late 60s, the early 70s, they wanted their own identity. But black street gangs did not start with the Bloods and Crips. No, that's not true. You had the Slawsons, the Gladiators, the Businessmen, Blood Alley, and many others. And I'll get into that tomorrow morning for the show. No, homie, we had black gangs that existed way before Bloods and Crips. But a lot of people who don't understand black history, they think black street gangs in Los Angeles started with Bloods and Crips, and that's the furthest thing from the truth.
No, not at all. The Mexicans and the white boys are aligned. You know what I mean? In most cases. The Mexicans are the majority in prison.
Right.
Then the blacks. The whites is probably like third, I guess. Right. So they don't have a large concentration of their soldiers like all the other races do. Excuse me. In prison, the the white boys.
We're gonna get into that, where low riding comes from, where the word low riding comes from. We're gonna get into that history. And a lot of people gonna get in their feelings about that, but we're gonna break that down as well. Oh, yeah, true indeed. Giving you what you need, bringing you up to speed, giving you the hard-hitting facts. Now that's realer than rap, no cap. Hey, man, Shay, man, check game.
Are broken down to a few different fractions like gangs. You know what I'm saying? You have the Aryan Brothers, the Nazi lowriders, and some other they come up with some new shit all the time because they fraction off, they break off for political differences or whatever it may be. They are allies with the Hispanics, the Sureños, the Southsiders.
Yeah.
In most cases they are. Like they went to war before. The Mexicans and the whites, it don't last long. Over dope. I mean, so it don't last long. But you ask, are they sitting on the floor? Nah. Mom, when I first went to prison, my reception was Delano. And I was supposed to go to Calipat.
Well, let me say this, man, and I gotta be real, right? Los Angeles is majority Mexicans, right? That's what it is, right? If you go to any major city in America that's majority black, you're not going to see no black and Latino beef. You're not going to see that. If blacks was 50% of Los Angeles population and Mexicans was 8%, there would be no beef. See, black people, we're powerful with low numbers. And I don't care who gets mad. I got to be real with y'all. The Mexicans in Atlanta can't afford to beef with blacks because Mexicans barely started coming to Atlanta. So you're not going to see Mexicans with animosity towards blacks on some racial politics. That's not going to work in Atlanta. It's too many black folks. If you go to Memphis, Tennessee, it's too many black folks. So Mexicans can't afford to be on the same tip that Mexicans are on in LA. So let me say this. Los Angeles is only 8% black. If Los Angeles was 30% black, you wouldn't hear about no racial tension between blacks and Mexicans. You wouldn't hear that. Right? Any city that's majority black, you're not going to hear about no Mexicans having animosity towards blacks. They're not going to act like that in a majority black city. Now, if the population is 50% Mexicans and 8% black, that's where you're going to get a lot of racial tension. If you don't believe me, study these cities that's majority black. These cities got Latinos in it. These Latinos don't dare try the stuff that they do in LA. It's just a known fact. When black people got a lot of numbers, you're not going to hear about stuff like that. East LA don't have no black people out there. So, of course, you're going to hear about fire bombings and racially motivated attacks because you don't have a sizable black population out there. You don't even have black gangs. So it's easy to prey on a black civilian when the city is 90-something% Mexican and 2% black.
Actually, I was supposed to go to Calipatria, where I ended up at. But my first prison, I opened up High Desert State.
You go to Washington, D.C., Mexicans can't afford to start nothing with no black people. In Atlanta, Mexicans can't start nothing with black people. In Birmingham, Alabama, Mexicans can't afford to start nothing with black people. In New Orleans, Mexicans can't afford to start something with black people. In St. Louis, Missouri, they can't afford to start nothing with black people. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, they can't afford to start beef with black people. And the list goes on and on. If a city is majority black, you're not going to hear Mexicans having animosity towards blacks. That only happens in cities when we have low numbers. But even at 8% in Los Angeles, we're still a force to be reckoned with. We're still a force to be reckoned with at 8% in Los Angeles. That's how powerful we are. If the black population was 40% in Los Angeles and the Mexican population was only 8%, they wouldn't even be a threat to us. We wouldn't even be worried about them. They would be a non-factor if they was 8%. But guess what? At 8% in Los Angeles, at the black population, we're still a factor at 8%. You can't show me one city in America where Mexicans are a factor going up against black gangs and we're 40% of the population and they're only 8%. You're not going to see that. It'll never happen. You will never hear about racial tension if those numbers were reversed. If Los Angeles was 40% black and 8% Mexicans, you wouldn't even hear about racial tension. I promise you, you wouldn't hear it. I just got to give you the facts. I don't care who get mad. That is the honest to God truth.
Prison, right? So for those people who don't know what it's like to open up a level 4 prison in California, it's war straight out the gate. And this is my first time in prison. I weighed about 90 pounds at that time. You know what I mean? So the situation was kind of dire. I was in the first race right there. It was over T Black shop, T Black BPS. It was over his Burgundy Bean. Oh, no. So in that situation, when you go to a new prison, you have to play politics. This is where prison politics come from. You know,
in Detroit, you're not going to hear about no Mexicans having tension with black people. You only hear about that in cities where the black population is small. That's the only time you're going to hear that. You can name any city across the country with a big black population. You're not going to see Mexicans or Latinos having animosity towards blacks. That only happened in cities when we got low numbers, homie. I promise you that. If you leave Los Angeles and travel to cities that's majority black, you are never going to hear about no Mexicans or Latinos having smoke with black people. Never. You only hear about that in cities when we got low numbers.
Everything is pretty much politics, from the showers to the water fountains to the handball courts to the benches to where you can stand to where you can't stand, what area you can go in, what toilets you can use, what phone you can use. This is too complicated.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys got to watch the vulgar language. Just watch the vulgar language. You know, if somebody blocks you for vulgarity and vulgar language, then you already know what happened. I said it earlier on the stream before I even got started. I said, watch the language in the chat. You can give your opinion and you ain't got to agree with. I'm not going to block you for disagreeing. You're going to get blocked for using racial slurs. You're going to get blocked for using profanity. So just talk like you got sense. I'm not using profanity. So if I'm not using profanity, why are you using profanity in my chat?
And each one of those things I just brought up is being politicked on for a different reason by all these different races. Oh, well, we want this phone because the homie in cell 111, excuse me, like 102, 103, and he right in front of it. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of shit that in their head be thinking and trying to manipulate to get whatever it is they want to get.
Why'd y'all have a race war when you first came?
To establish what I just told you.
To establish
that. If they want this handball court and we want this handball court, we're going to war behind it. What do you mean? This is prison. This ain't like, it's funny to me because I be listening to all these dudes and they be speaking my name. You couldn't even breathe the same air I breathe. You don't even know y'all own big homies. I went to jail when I was 18 years old, bro. Didn't get out until I was 35. All these niggas praise, they raised me in that big crazy D. Matrix Gangsters, Sparks from Raymond, Lala from Sick and Deuce East Coast, Dan Tanner from Long Beach, Spartacus. See, I can say what y'all want.
We got 400 plus people watching. I need us to get 400 plus likes. Get us 400 plus likes. Make sure that you like the content and support the platform because we're going hard in the paint when most won't. But Red Supreme will, King Supreme will. You already knowing the damn deal. Bless the like button because a lot of you guys are being very shy with that like button. Hey, Real Tune is the money in the room. Hey, man, shout out to Hoover Gumby, man. Shout out to Virgil Berry. He said, in my city of Columbus, Ohio, Mexicans don't run nothing. That's because FBAs are the majority. They're real cool and docile here, and they don't want no smoke. Well, of course, there's too many black people out there. You're not going to see Mexicans looking for smoke in cities that are majority black. It's not going to happen. See, I traveled outside of. I'm not just a West Coast cat. I go to cities across the country. You never see that in cities with big black populations. You only see that in cities with small black populations. That's when you see a lot of this racism and crazy stuff like that. Yeah, talk like adults. Just hit the like button for your homeboy. Shout out to Johnny Bars 805. It says so accepting, huh? Let's see Sporty Face right here. Sporty Face. Sporty Face called out Lucky for the African booty scratcher content. He called out Lucky for the fade. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Now here come my man Sporty Face. Now Blue Devil made excuses for this. Come on, Blue Devil. Can't make excuses for this.
Lucky.
He called out Lucky for a fade. Now this is 4Xtra's cousin, Sporty Face. He said, Lucky, let's catch a fade 1-on-1. This ain't got to be about race. This ain't got to be about gangs. We gonna catch the fade 1-on-1, mano y mano. Let's get it. You know what Lucky said? Oh man, well, I'm gonna be on Wooty Woo on this day. If you got a problem, pull up. Why? So I can get into a shootout with your homeboys. This is about a fade. Lucky trying to make it a gang beef, so he ain't got to see this man 1-on-1. That's why Lucky said, oh man, I'm gonna be, man, why would I pull up to an event where all your homeboys gonna be? And if I pull up and do something, I'm going back to prison. When we could easily say we can set this up, make it legal, therefore nobody gets shot, nobody gets jumped, nobody goes to jail. And we can both get paid. I want y'all to hear what Sporty Face had to say about Lucky. Sporty Face said, Lucky, you call my people African booty scratchers? Let's catch that fade 1-on-1, mano a mano. Ain't nobody got to get shot. Ain't nobody got to get jumped. Ain't nobody got to go back to prison.
Did all that talking and all that dissing, but don't want to fight. That's crazy to me. Like you bunk. I don't respect nothing that you say, nothing that you do. None of your homies or none of your people should respect nothing that you do. I single-handedly called you out. This ain't no race. This ain't about no gang. This ain't nothing about that. I specifically called out one person. I called you out mano y mano, 1-on-1, and you turned it down. Like you bunk. You bunk. Like nothing you say ever again, nothing come out your mouth count, bro. You know what I'm saying? But on some more important stuff, the statements that I made yesterday, it was never to cause more friction or to more violence amongst our black and brown people. That's why I said specifically, I'm talking to those specifically who has a problem with our people, not the Hispanics or Mexicans that love our culture, that appreciate our culture, and that's cool with black people. So I see that it's getting out of hand. The comments is pinning us against each other, and that was never my intention. That was never my intention. You know what I'm saying? I solely was talking to that man, and I was just informed by a whole lot of real essays and a real lot of Rasa that he's not even Mexican. He's not even of that culture or that descent. He's a whole European. So that's, to me, and that in itself, man, that's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I apologize for even putting him on your people, because clearly nobody wants to claim him, and clearly a lot of y'all have a problem with him as well. So that's my bad for misidentifying him as being Mexican or Rasa when he isn't. But he is associated to a Southsider gang. So what I will say is that his gang, Highland Park, yeah, y'all should, yeah, man, shout out to y'all, man, but he bunk. Like, he turning down fades and all that. That ain't straight. Like, when we start accepting that. Shout out to y'all over there, though. I ain't got no problems with y'all, nothing like that. But him, I got a problem with him. Make him come catch this fade. Make him stand on that. Unless y'all just feel the same way. And then in that case, then, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, he not straight. Nothing come out his mouth. Nobody should respect that or listen to nothing he's saying, because he blatantly and clearly just turned down a fade, bro. So that's crazy. Like when you get to turn down a fade, I'm talking about a one-on-one and still get to be good. I don't know, you let me, but yeah, my bad for even saying that he Mexican. Y'all clearly y'all don't want to count him, or y'all don't want to claim him. So shit, my bad. Lucky did all that talking and all that dissing, but don't want to fight.
Now, Sporty Face, this is Forester's cousin. He from 40 Crip, neighborhood 40 Crip. He told Lucky, you call my people African booty scratchers, let's get down. Let's catch the fade. Ain't nobody got to go to jail. Ain't nobody got to go to prison. Ain't nobody got to get shot. Ain't nobody got to get jumped. Me and you, one-on-one, we can catch this fade about it. Lucky said, no, man, I don't want to catch no fade. If you got a problem with me, pull up to Whittier. I'm going to be in Whittier. Why would I pull up to a spot where all your homeboys going to be at? Everybody know you're going to be there. If I pull up and do something to you, I'm going back to prison. Sporty Face ain't stupid. Why would he risk going to prison because you don't want to fight one-on-one? Sporty Face said it. We can leave our gangs out of this. We can leave our hoods out of this. We can leave everything out of this, and we can meet up for the fade. We can put it on camera and get paid. Mano y mano, 101. Come over here and catch these hands. Run this fade. Ain't nobody got to go to jail. Ain't nobody got to go to prison. Ain't nobody got to get jumped. Ain't nobody got to get shot. And guess what? Lucky said, no, man, I ain't finna catch no fade. If you got a problem with me, you need to catch me over there. You got to catch me in Whittier. I'm going to be in Whittier on such and such day. You're throwing an event, and you're going to have a lot of your homeboys there. So Lucky want to make this a hood thing. He don't want to see this man one-on-one.
That's crazy to me. Like you bunk. I don't respect nothing that you say, nothing that you do. None of your homies or none of your people should respect nothing that you do. I single-handedly called you out. This ain't no race. This ain't about no gang. This ain't nothing about that. I specifically called out one person. I called you out mano y mano, one-on-one, and you turned it down. Like you bunk. You bunk. Like nothing you say ever again, nothing come out your mouth count, bro. You know what I'm saying? But on some more important stuff, the statements that I made yesterday, it was never to cause more friction or to more violence amongst our black and brown people. That's why I said specifically, I'm talking to those specifically who has the disrespect and the racism amongst the Southern California Mexican podcasters. This shit getting out of line, bro. Like it really is. Motherfuckers just blatantly just disrespecting a whole culture or demographic and expect nobody to speak on it or call them on their bullshit. But my whole thing about it is,
we got to show love for Sporty Face, man. We got to show love to Sporty Face because he's a stand-up brother. He said, I'll catch this fade. You know what I mean? I'm going to do this for blackness. I'm going to stand on business. He called Lucky out for a fade. He said, let's catch that one-on-one. Let's get these hands. No gangs, no guns, no homeboys. Me and you, mano y mano. Lucky said, no, I ain't trying to catch no one-on-one fade. You got to catch me when I'm with all my homeboys. If you want to catch me, you got to pull up the Whittier when I'm with all my homeboys. That's what he said.
If y'all hate black people so much, why you motherfuckers want to be like us so bad? And y'all I know it's going to start controversy. Oh, we don't, yeah, y'all do. And this goes specifically to the Hispanics that proclaim to not like us, but want to be like us so bad. It's a lot of Hispanics, there's a lot of Mexicans out there, man. Shout out to y'all, the real ones that respect our culture, respect our race, love black people, that could coexist with us. And also, they appreciate our culture. But my whole thing is with these weirdos is they throw rocks and then they hide their hand. Like if y'all want smoke, just say y'all want smoke. But don't take little pop shots, people calling us African booty scratchers and all that. Like, what's up with that, bro? Y'all swear y'all hate black people, but want to be like us so bad. Stop trying to rap. Stop putting earrings in your ear. Stop getting designs in your hair. All this, I could go so on and so forth. Stop listening to rap music. Stop dressing like us. Stop wearing Jordans. Like, all of that are all part of our culture. We made all that pop. Stop wearing designers. Stop wearing chains. Like, so on and so forth. Again, man, shout out to all the real Mexican and Hispanics that really fuck with us and really appreciate our culture. I fuck with y'all. But to the ones who act like they racist and don't like us, stop acting like us. Stop acting like us. Say y'all won't smoke. In particular, this clown ass nigga Lucky from Hood Stocks. What's up with you, bro? Yeah, I push peace, but I don't tolerate disrespect. So on behalf of me and my people, set that up. I need that. You a big guy, I'm a big guy. Let's do that. You hold it down for the Rasa, I'll hold it down for the Africans, bro. Don't turn it down. Let's get a bag up out of it, man. Let's show people, you know what I'm saying, we could do the things the non-violent way, homie. Hand-to-hand combat, MMA style. Because not only I want to put my hands on you, I want to put my feet on you as well. You real disrespectful over a camera. Put the bag up. We got the bag over here. Mano a mano. Mano a mano, bro. We don't need no make this no race thing, no gang thing, no nothing. I'm calling you out. Get in the ring with me or get on the mat with me. However which way you want to do. I just want to put my hands and my feet on you and show you what this African booty scratcher will do. And that's to any other disrespectful podcaster out there or anybody else in the street that feel like they could disrespect me and my people or my culture or my heritage. Time and time again, black people, we super respectful, even when y'all disrespect us. Tired of the disrespect, bruh. Like, put some respect on our name and our culture. If not, put them gloves on.
He said it. He said, man, catch this fade. Come and get it. Let's see what Viral Way had to say.
Viral gang, what's the
shout out to man Viral Way, man. This is my Long Beach brother. Got a lot of love for this brother, man. I'm gonna ride with him 100%. I'm gonna ride with Viral Way 100%. I'm gonna ride with Spody Face 100%. That's it. I'm riding with my people.
deal, YouTube? What's the deal to the social media streets? What's the deal, black people? And what's the deal to all the Viral Gang supporters, whether you're black, you're white, you're Asian, Hispanic, Samoan, I don't care what you is. If you support the Viral Way, you an official Viral Way member. You feel me? But I had to call.
We got to show brothers like Sporty Face a lot of love. We got to show the Viral Way a lot of love. Damian Porter, we got to show Damian Porter a lot of love. These are stand-up brothers that ride for our people. You got to stand for King Supreme. I'm a rider for our people. I'm going to put that black flag first. Ain't about no blood and cripping. I'm going to stand on blackness, foundational black American business.
All this emergency live, and I'm saying this an emergency live because the YouTube streets is in an uproar, right? You're hearing all these talks of a race war, race war, race war. And at the center of it, somehow the Viral Way name is being used by the Hispanics as if.
Shout out to Furious Styles, man. Furious Styles blessed us with a cash app as well. You did. Shout out to that brother, man. Let's get some old people to show some love and support to this content in a major way.
I'm the one who's kicked it off. So we gonna dispel all this bullshit. We gonna address these microaggressions. We gonna address these passive aggressive threats that I keep hearing.
So, like I said, man, if you ain't rocking with Viral Way, man, you got to rock with the Viral Way, man. These is our brothers. They stand on business. We got to support brothers like this 100%. I'm riding with them. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
and we're going to get to the facts. We're going to get all the way down to the facts. Now, go check out episode 223 that we just dropped. A banger, another classic for the culture. Make sure y'all tap in and go support that. Like the video, hype the video. But before I get into the spill, I'm gonna give the people some time to fall into the building. You know, let's give the people some time to tap in with the tap in, and we're gonna get right into it.
Oh yeah, can't forget about Bobby Ye. That's my brother right there, man. Viral Way, I'm gonna tap in with the Viral Way. I'm gonna tap in with Bobby Ye. I'm gonna tap in with Damian Porter, and we're gonna do this for blackness. But Bobby Ye, man, you gotta rock with Bobby Ye, Imperial Vision. Very intelligent brother, articulate, wordplay, immaculate. You know what I'm saying? That brother inspired me to step up my vocabulary. I'm talking about Bobby Ye from Imperial Vision, from PJ Watts. Hey, homie, that's a brother from another mother. I'm riding with Bobby Ye 100%. Yeah. That brother has inspired me to step up my vocabulary and my wordplay. He's very intelligent, man. And man, I'm just gonna let's go.
Where the media at? Where the media at? Oh, okay. Let me get the theme song cracking. We on. Let me give a big shout out and for
That
no
viral
reason.
song is hard. I don't want to get no copyright for that, but man, that song is hard. We about to go viral. We about to go viral. Shout out to our Long Beach brothers. Shout out to our Watts brothers. Shout out to our Hoover brothers. Shout out to our brothers in Inglewood. Shout out to our brothers in West LA. We got to give West LA props because a lot of times when people talk about LA, they leave West LA out of it. Shout out to the schoolyards and you know, this ain't about no blood and cripping. I'm just shouting out my people, the Mansfields, the Playboy gangsters, the Marvin gangsters, the Bio Self gangsters, the Venice Showline. So shout out to our West LA brothers because they get slept on a lot. And I know a lot of riders from that West LA card, man. So I want to give a shout out to them. We're going to stand on business. We're going to stand on blackness.
Just because I woke up and said, oh man, F the Mexicans. No, let's get down to the facts of what happened. Your people said something racist about my people numerous amounts of time. And not just any
Oh yeah,
people.
I gotta say shout out to Active Chucks. Shout out to the Deuce M's. Can't leave that brother out either. Active Chucks, that's a brother from another mother right there too. I gotta link up with him. We all gotta link up and stand on business and stand on blackness. So shout out to Active Chucks, Damu and Keyway Conversations. Shout out to you. I can't forget about you, my brother. I rock with you heavy.
Your people who appropriate our culture. That's where the issue stems from. Period, point blank. Y'all keep trying to go around the block to cross the street. Y'all keep trying to blur the lines. Oh, yeah, you know, it's racist everywhere. Everybody with a platform can say what they want. Yes, that is true. The problem is when you try to appropriate our culture, try to take ownership of our culture while being racist towards us. That's a no-no. That's where the whole problem is coming in at. I don't know Lucky from Hood Stocks. I don't give a fuck to know Lucky from Hood Stocks. I don't give a fuck about Lucky from Hood Stocks.
Man, he going in, man. If you might shout out to Solomon the Great for the super chat. He said, major respect to King Supreme for standing up for our black people since day one. Major respect to all our black people. Black people who refuse to tolerate any disrespect or microaggressions from any non-blacks. Salute to that. Shout out to Solomon the Great. I'm riding with my people 100%. FBA stand up. We gonna stand on business, baby. Yeah.
Give a fuck about his podcast. I don't give a fuck about his video or nothing to do with him. Don't care. The man could disappear off the face of the list. I just found out he's the guy who went to No Jumper to explain why he got a 16-year-old pregnant as a grown-ass man.
Now you got some explaining to do. What's his name? Man, I'm having a brain freeze. What's his name? What's dude's name from Matavia that pulled up to his show? Marvelous Inc. Marvelous Inc. You got some explaining to do, man. You a 43-year-old man and you impregnated a 16-year-old girl. Yeah, man, you got some explaining to do. She came over to Marvelous Inc.'s house because Marvelous Inc. does tattoos. He gave her a tattoo. He spit some game in her ear, got the kitty cat wet. He smashed her. He hit it raw. Then he impregnated her, and she's only 16. But Marvelous said, man, I didn't know she was 16. But you smashed her and hit it raw. Now he's going to say, man, she had a fake ID. Do you believe Marvelous Inc. when he said that? He said, man, she had a fake ID. I didn't know. Now, Marvelous Inc. is the dude that pulled up to the Viral Way podcast to have a conversation. See, I knew about this a minute ago because I know who Marvelous Inc. is. Listen, homie, I never had no animosity or hatred towards Marvelous Inc., but you, as a 40-plus-year-old man, impregnated a 16-year-old girl, you got some explaining to do. Now, Marvelous is going to say, man, she had a fake ID, man. She came to get a tattoo. She had a fake ID. She was flirting with me. I had sex with her. I hit it raw and impregnated her. Really? That's crazy.
Like he didn't know she was 16. And I don't know if they going for that, but that's a whole nother story. Had I known that, I would have never even pulled him up. But I'm glad I did anyways, because what he did was reveal what a lot of them try to hide once his emotions kicked in, right? So I'm gonna go replay some of that live too to get some of y'all.
Hey, yes, speed. Sir, said Marvelous Kelly. He said Marvelous Kelly. Yeah, man, he hit it raw. Yeah. He didn't put no condom on. That was a young tender looking like a prime rib. Hell yeah, he hit it raw. He ain't think about no condom. That was a young tenderoni to Marvelous Inc. Yeah. You hit it raw and impregnated her after you gave her a tattoo. Now he's going to say, I didn't know she was 16. She had a fake ID. That woman tricked me. She tricked me into having sex with her. I didn't know she was 16. That's what he's going to say. But you hit it raw. You hit it raw.
But I got a bunch of the Southsiders, a bunch of the Hispanics hitting me up. Oh, he don't represent us. He don't speak for us. He's a chomo. He's no good. He's green lit. His hood is green. Like all of this Hispanic politics that I don't have no knowledge of. I'm black, homie. I'm from Long Beach. I don't give a fuck about y'all politics or what y'all got going on. Like, oh, why did you bring him up? He no good. Y'all need to tap in with y'all people and figure out why he felt bold enough to get brought up. I didn't request him to come up. I didn't go do a background check on him. He pulled up on his own. So if y'all had an issue with him speaking for y'all people, y'all need to take that smoke that you attempting to bring to me and bring to him, because he said he was speaking for y'all. So if he's not a Southsider, y'all need to go address that with him, because he sure was talking like he was one.
He did pull up talking like he was a Southsider. Hey, homie. Hey, I'm gonna pull up the conversation. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Listen, I'm gonna show the conversation.
Ask him to say nothing that he said. But we finna bring this up though, bro. Let me bring this video up, right? Because dude started like he was on some peaceful shit. He started like he was on some trying to understand where we was coming from shit. And then bam, those politics kicked in. See, if you're not good at reading the room, if you're not good at reading energies, if you're not good at reading body language and reading between the lines, what he said in this video I'm about to play, it'll probably go over your head. But I caught every single thing, just like I caught every single thing that dude said on my live. Mind you, they're trying to spin this whole thing as if I started it. So before I start the video, please understand.
Like the video. Like Dubs would say, new video. Hey, man. I used to like when Dubs say, new video. Now, that's a real cholo right there. New video. Hey, that sounds smooth, though. I ain't gonna even lie. New video.
That a Hispanic man, part Hispanic, whatever. Y'all want to say he Russian, he this, he that. He wasn't that a week prior. I just know he from a Hispanic gang. They say he from out of East LA. That's 99.9% Hispanic. And he represent Hispanic culture, period, point blank. So to me, he Hispanic. So all that trying to divide and, oh, he Russian this, that, I'm not going for that. He said something racist. I responded. My response lit a fire under my community that, in my opinion, should have been lit a decade ago.
Yeah, man. Marvelous, man. You impregnated that 16-year-old as a 40-plus-year-old man. I mean, you know what a youngster looks like. Unless she was just looking so good, you didn't care. And you wanted to hit that poom poom. You know what I mean? You wanted to take her to Pound Town. You wanted to hit that poom poom. You didn't give a damn that she was 16 years old. Now, Marvelous is going to say, man, I didn't know she was 16. That girl had a fake ID. Okay, homie, I get it.
But no time like the present. No time like the present. So I'm glad that we getting these responses that we getting. But yeah, let me play this video. I'm gonna share the video. This shit was
Marvelous wanted to take her to Pound Town. Yeah. he said, I'm gonna hit this raw right now. And if things hit the fan, I'm gonna tell everybody she gave me a fake ID. Yeah. I'm gonna tell everybody she gave me a fake ID if this nonsense hit the fan. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah.
comical and it was crazy. It's like they don't understand. It's a new day. Like, it's 2025 going into 2026, bro.
Oh man.
It's not 1980 and we're not in prison. Them days is long gone. Them days is over with, bro. Trying to run under those politics is over. Those are failed politics. This is why the communities are failing now, because we spent too much time listening to motherfuckers behind the wall.
And that's what's wrong with they were listening to people behind the walls. Imagine you as a free man taking orders from somebody who got life in prison. Their life is over. And they're going to dictate to you as a free man. Those are crazy rules. You call it structure, we call it dictatorship. So when Mexicans be saying, oh, blacks don't have no structure, no, we don't let prisoners dictate our program on the streets, but y'all do. So don't let them gaslight you with that nonsense. They idolize people who serve life in prison. In the black community, we don't. We got different beliefs and different politics. We don't let prisoners who are serving life dictate to those of us who are on the streets. We don't play those games in the black community. You got life in prison. You're never coming home. And you think I'm going to let you dictate to me as a free man on the streets? Man, please. You can keep that. They call it structure. We call it dictatorship and slavery. You got to pay the big homies in prison. You got to send 30% of your maybe it's 30. I don't know. Maybe it could be less or more. But the fact that you got to give a percentage of your drug profits to somebody that's in prison, man, black people would never go for that. I'm not going to send a fool in prison a percentage of my drug profits. That's pimping. They pimping on you. I'm going to use you as a mule. You're going to bring these drugs in prison. You're going to get your wife to bring these drugs in prison. And when you do it, you're going to break me off a percentage. Man, that's the closest thing to slavery. Got a fool doing life in prison, but he going to dictate to you and make you give a percentage of your drug profits. Black folks would never go for that. Black people won't go for that.
That don't got shit going on and dictating what's going on in the free world. That's the motherfucking problem. We need to get the productive members from each society, and we need to come up with a solution. Taking orders from a motherfucker behind the wall, that's never finna happen. not for me, at least.
Not for black people.
But yeah, let me go add this video.
That's extortion.
And they keep
exactly, homeboy. That's extortion. That is extortion, man. These Southsiders who become drug dealers got to give a percentage to people that's in prison. That's extortion, man. But they want to trick everybody and say, "Oh man, this organization." Nah, homie, you're being extorted. You're being exploited. You're being extorted. Stop trying to pass that nonsense off as if it's some type of organization when you're clearly being extorted, taken advantage of. You're not going to convince me that that's structure. Hell no.
Around on here. Oh, here it is. So boom. Let's walk it down.
Let's go to this clip. That's what they do to save face. They shoot at his structure when in reality it's extortion, man. Oh man, we ain't going for that, bro. Nah, we ain't going for
Right,
that.
but they you know that they choose to overlook that because
Hold
they
on
want
1 second, man. I want to find this clip. Here it go right here. This is marvelous, man. Marvelous. Come on, man. You could do better than that, man. You knew that girl was 16, man. You knew that wasn't no grown woman, man. You knew that girl was 16. No, Marvelous pulled up to the Vireway podcast to have a debate. Check it out.
But yet they have this deep.
And Marvelous is from a Mexican gang in East Los Angeles, Montevilla. I had a homeboy from Montevilla. I won't say his name, but he went all the way bad. He went out. He snitched. I used to hustle with this dude back in 07, 06, 08. And he was from Montevilla. He took me to his Vadio in East LA. And when me and the homies got some work and we left East LA, we got on the freeway to get back to our side of the town. The task force pulled up on us and found the pistol. And my homeboy from Fuzztown Mafia Crip took the charge. My cousin from Hoover, my homeboy from Fuzztown, and I'm from the red side. But we had an organization to where we was all getting money. I had a homeboy from Florence. I had a homeboy from Montevilla. I had a homeboy from Fuzztown Mafia, and my cousin is from Hoover, and I'm from the red side, and we was all getting money together. Yeah, homie, all getting money together. I went to Montevilla's hood, kicked it with him. They put some food on the grill. We chopped it and kicked it up. We kicked it and yeah, homie. And when we left, after we got our work, the whole time, the dude from Montevilla was working with those people. I'm not throwing all Montevilla people under the bus because you got snitches in every gang. But when we left the festivities, we was ready to hop on the 10 freeway. We left East LA, leaving East LA, the task force pulled up. I had to throw the work out of the window, get rid of the work. But guess what? The pistol was stashed. And when they pulled us over, they found the pistol. And my homeboy from Fuzztown Mafia Crib was like, Red, I'm going to take the charge. You the money man. You the leader. You the money man. I don't want you going down because I know if I get locked up, you're going to take care of me. You're going to take care of me when I get out. So my homeboy from Fuzztown Mafia took the pistol charge. This happened in East LA. Yeah, true story.
Vendetta and hatred towards us. You see what I'm saying? And time again, we don't allow all kind of groups of people to come over, eat off of us, leech off of our culture, copy our culture, get involved with our culture. And you fast forward, you got motherfuckers from other cultures talking about they created hip hop, for instance.
Facts,
you
bro.
You a participant in around this motherfucker. You feel me? So
listen, the task force pulled up and searched the vehicle. And I'm thinking, like, where they come from, man? They had no probable cause, but the whole time, homeboy was snitching. The dude from Montevilla was snitching. And I'm not throwing all Montevillas under the bus because, like I said, there's snitches from every hood. He set us up. I seen the police coming. I got rid of the work. I lost $20K in that. I lost over $20,000 getting rid of that work. But I'd rather get rid of the work than serve a gang of time. So I get rid of the work. But the pistol was stashed, and by the time they pulled up, they found the pistol, but I got rid of the work. So it was me, my cousin from Hoover was driving. I'm in the passenger seat. My homeboy from Fuzztown Mafia Crip watched Fuzztown Mafia in the back seat. He took the pistol charge, homie. True story. And old boy from Montevilla, he snitched. He was snitching the whole time. A month later, my house got raided because of this fool. And my homeboy from Florence, I got a homeboy from Florence, is like, Red, hey man, that Booty will be a snitch. I'm like, damn, I didn't know that. He like, yeah, man, he been working for a minute. And I didn't know why the police kept pulling up. We was in a valley we was hustling in a valley together. And the police kept pulling up, doing these random searches, and I didn't understand why. The whole time, old boy that was from Matavia, he was working with them folks the whole time. And I didn't know. It took a while for the paperwork to come out for this dude to get exposed.
At the end of the day, we got to start gatekeeping our culture and start protecting our own people.
Hey, let me ask you this, bro. Let me ask you this. Down on your side of the town and shit, what is it like in your part of town and shit? You feel me? As far as the Hispanic and, you know what I'm saying, the black energy and shit. What's it like in your side
Here
of
go
town?
Marvelous right here. He the Mexican cat right here.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm from Tennessee, but I've been in Philly for like 15 years, right? So I've been seeing Hispanics all over Chicago, Philly, Jersey, and I'm gonna say the difference. And I've been out LA, you know what I'm saying? California, all that shit. Lived in South Central when I was like 16. But listen, there's a lot of Hispanics out in the Northeast. They not like Mexicans and the Hispanics in the Northeast is two different types of Hispanics, mostly Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, shit like that. They have a different type of culture. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of the aggression that you see towards Hispanics in the West Coast, you don't see that because of the numbers. Is very tremendously different than what it is in LA County. You feel what I'm saying? You got to realize.
Nah, Cali brothers ain't weak. A lot of you guys will never go to war with another group with a bigger population. If anything, it takes a lot of heart for us in Los Angeles to go to war, and we're 8%, and we're going to war with a 40%. You guys have never experienced that. You blacks in other cities are just unaliving each other. Blacks in California, we go to war with blacks and Mexicans and the correctional officers, baby mamas and all that, like Hoover Gumby said. You guys ain't never went to war when the numbers are against you, against all odds. Huh? You ain't never went to war against all odds. You ain't never went to war with another race when you're 8% and they're 40+%. Nah, homeboy, you ain't never experienced that. So you ain't got the nah.
Black people are the majority down there in Chicago.
And we still get busy. We still get busy with low numbers. We a major factor in Los Angeles with 8% of the population. We're still a major factor. That is a fact, homie.
Chicago, Philly, Baltimore, Marvelous. What's the deal?
What's up, Viral Ray? Okay, so let's address this issue correctly, right? And get down to the bottom, because what all you guys are doing, right? And this is as podcasters.
And this is Marvelous Inc., the Mexican cat right here that's talking.
Not as a
radio. In Chicago and in Philly.
Chicago, Philly, Baltimore, Marvelous. What's the deal?
What's up, Viral Ray? Okay, so let's address this issue correctly, right? And get down to the bottom, because what all you guys are doing, right? And this is as podcasters, not as a racial thing, is bringing gang shit into the equation, and it has nothing to do with that, dog. First of all, the dude that made that statement isn't Mexicano. So for you guys to bring up Mexicans or Hispanics or Latino as a whole, as in a racial divide, that's false. You should not do that, but address that man as a man and let him deal. Go ahead.
Is he a Southsider?
That doesn't matter. That's where you're bringing it into gang equations.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you why it matters. Because if he a Southsider, the Southsider program is notoriously anti-black. That's why when he asked, no, listen, bro.
Go ahead.
When he asked the female, do you like black men? Do you date black men? She said no. He said, why? She said it's against the program. What's the program she talking about?
That's their fault.
That's anti.
And that's their fault. That's their fault and their ideology on what they think it is. But the real thing is there's a program and business, right? We all know about politics, and which I'm not going to get into about. That has to do with politics, homie, not the street or podcasting as an individual. That has nothing to do with it, dog. So whether he's a Southsider or not, and whether people want to back his play as a Southsider, you're calling out a whole car, homie. That's what you're doing.
You know
If
why?
you say something, let me say one more thing, homie. If you say something disrespectful about me or whatever, I'm not gonna go diss all the blacks and say, hey, every black person is that way, because they're not. I got a lot of black homies from different hoods that show nothing but love and respect. They handle themselves cordially, and you know how to conduct. You've been to prison, homie. You know how to conduct yourself with respect. You look a man in his eyes and you deal with that man accordingly, not as a whole car out here. This isn't the prison out here, homie.
Nah, this the difference. If he does what he does in prison, his car deals with him before the blacks even got to say anything. So if you want to keep it respectful in that terms, that needs to go on the streets too, because he's representing your whole faction when you on this internet. The same way I get on the internet, I'm from a neighborhood too. So if I do some shit that's out of whack with the neighborhood, regardless of if I think I'm just representing for me or speaking for me, nah, it's bigger than the program. I'm a black representative, period. If I get on here and I start saying, man, fuck Mexicans, woo woo, and that could lead to a war in the street, guess what? The blacks have to hold me accountable and be like, nah, nigga, you tripping.
Hold on, and viral. Hey, let me reply to
like, oh, that's just viral. We gonna get that viral. No, they gonna start saying, man, fuck the blacks. It's on with the blacks.
Let me reply to his statement though.
Accountable, bro. We can't just say, oh, it's that one man. Nah, bro, we gotta hold each other accountable.
No, but viral at the same time, it wasn't just him. It was a whole group of them up there, and you let old boy call in on the same type of fuckery and the same type of energy. So we can't just keep it to him, because it's a whole group of them up there co-signing the same fuckery and bullshit.
Who's the group? Who's the group that you're saying?
It was 3 of them up there, the call-in nigga and the fucking chick that was up there. That's 5 fucking people co-signing the same fucking bullshit.
And for the record, I already stated this ain't directed to all Hispanics. So if you're not racist and you're not anti-black, don't take offense. If it don't apply, let it fly. This is to the ones calling us mayates and all this shit. And I don't even care about them. It's when you try to get involved in black culture, like you want to call us this and that, but then you want to rap. You want to say you don't fuck with black.
Let me tell. All right, look it. Let me tell all you guys something about that. Okay, you want to bring up rap and how Mexicanos cling to you dudes and all this and that, right? And you want to talk about your captivity and all this and that. We were the first ones to go under captivity. If you know your history, we were the first ones to go under captivity. So you can miss me with all that slave shit, because we were slaves too, and we're both slaves together now in this country.
That's false.
That is not false.
That's false.
You don't know your history, bro. I teach history.
No, I'm gonna tell you why it's false. Black people,
man, most black people ain't even from
on
Africa,
the planet
bro.
before Hispanics was a race. And we was
No,
already
bro.
each other.
Our lineage goes farther back than anybody else's lineage.
The whole rap and hip hop industry is based off of poetry, bro, and telling your story of captivity, homie, and the trials and tribulations that you're going through. Okay.
Now he gonna put us. now he gonna put us up on game about hip hop. He gonna tell us what hip hop is and where it derives from. Imagine that. A Mexican trying to school us about hip hop and where it derives from. How disrespectful is that? And he's doing his best to take accountability away from Lucky. Oh, he ain't Mexican. He a Southsider. Southsiders are going to back him up. If Lucky goes to prison, the Serranos, the Southsiders going to back him up. So you can't say he ain't Mexican. Oh, he Russian. He ain't Mexican. Nah, homie, you don't work like that. If Milk 74 says something today, the black's gonna get held accountable for it. Why? Because Milk run black when he go to county. If Milk went to prison, he gonna have to run black. Straight up. So you can't separate Lucky from Southsiders and Serranos.
We both go through those trials and tribulations. We were both hungry. You can't argue with me, homie. You can't argue.
I want to ask you a question, bro. I just want to ask you one question.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
I'm going to ask you one thing, bro. How many black men?
He said, nah, man, Mexicans were the first to go under a captivity. So don't talk to me about no slavery essay. What? Oh, man. If you guys were the first to go under captivity, Why do you ride with the white supremacists in prison, Peckerwoods and skinheads? That makes no sense. Why would you form a loose alliance with white supremacists if you guys been oppressed by the white man? You don't see black Americans forming an alliance with Peckerwoods and white supremacists in prison. We don't deal with them, but Southern California Mexicans do.
I just want to ask him one thing, bro. How many black guys did you see doing mariachi music and shitting on Hispanic culture? None.
How many what?
How many black people did you see doing mariachi music that's shitting on the Hispanic culture? None. But we see Hispanics doing black culture, but shitting on us as a people, though.
And then another thing is we can't let
that
y'all
doesn't even make
redirect
sense.
what is hip hop.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
We can't let y'all redirect what is hip hop. Hip hop.
Look at bro. Look at.
Hip hop.
Ain't nobody redirecting what is hip hop, but you're not gonna say that's yours and be a gatekeeper.
Hold on, you're an outsider, bro. Hip hop deals with 5.
He just said you're not going to be a gatekeeper. We can gatekeep our culture. You gatekeep Chicano culture. You gatekeep Mexican communities. Y'all firebomb black people apartments in East LA because you don't want blacks living there. So you guys gatekeep your communities, but you don't want us gatekeeping our culture. The hypocrisy. No, man, you can't gatekeep hip hop. That's what he said. We can gatekeep hip hop. We should have started listen, man, we should have been gatekeeping hip hop. We should have did that a long time ago, and we wouldn't have all these culture vultures right now.
Elements, bro. Simple as that. It's 5 elements to hip hop.
Let's hear this.
It doesn't deal with poetry. And the thing is, they was all independently created by the black people in America. You guys came along later, and we allowed you guys to be participants in it. Bro, what are you talking about?
False.
No, bro, it's MCing, it's DJ, it was breakdancing.
He said false. How can a Mexican tell us what's right or what's wrong about our culture? False. Hip hop does not come from Latino culture. But he up there saying, no, man, that's false, man. No, that's false. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to school you about your own culture.
It was graffiti
of captivity.
Don't take offense. If it don't apply, let it fly. This is to the ones calling us mayates and all this shit. And I don't even care about them. It's when you try to get involved in black culture, like you want to call us this and that, but then you want to rap. You want to say you don't fuck with black.
Let me tell. All right, look it. Let me tell all you guys something about that. Okay, you want to bring up rap and how Mexicanos cling to you dudes and all this and that, right? And you want to talk about your captivity and all this and that. We were the first ones to go under captivity. If you know your history, we were the first ones.
If you was the first ones to go under captivity, why would you form an alliance with white supremacists in prison? If you were the first to go under captivity, it makes no sense, homie. I know my people was enslaved by a white man, but we're going to form a loose alliance with white supremacists in prison. That is a great idea to go against the blacks. We're going to form a loose alliance with white supremacists to go against blacks. If you was the first to go under captivity by Europeans, why in the hell would you form an alliance with them in California prisons? Where's your pride? Where's your integrity? You ain't never seen black folks trying to form an alliance with white supremacists. But Southern California Mexicans did.
To go under captivity. So you can miss me with all that slave shit because we were slaves too. And we're both slaves together now in this country.
That's false.
That is not false.
That's
Then
false,
you don't
bro.
know your history, bro. I teach history.
No, I'm gonna tell you why it's false. Black people,
Man, most black people ain't even from
on
Africa,
the planet
bro.
before
Thank you,
Hispanics
bro.
was a race. And we was
No,
already
bro.
raping each other.
Our lineage
The
goes
whole
farther
rap-
back
listen.
than anybody else's lineage.
The whole
Listen,
rap,
hold on.
the
Can
whole
I
rap
respond
and
to
hip
something
hop
real quick?
industry is based off of poetry, bro, and telling your story of captivity, homie, and the trials and tribulations that you're going through.
Okay, let me ask you this one
We
question.
both
Hold
go
on.
through those
Let me ask
trials
you
and
this one
tribulations.
question.
We
Let me
were
ask
both
you
come
one
from
question.
trees. You can't argue with me, homie. You
No,
can't
I just
argue.
want to ask you a question, bro. I just want to ask you
Go
one
ahead.
question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But hold on,
I'm just gonna ask him one thing, bro. How many black men?
One mic.
I just want to ask him one thing, bro. How many black guys did you see doing mariachi music and shitting on Hispanic culture? None.
How many
All
what?
right, then. How many black people did you see doing mariachi music that's shitting on the Hispanic culture? None. But we see Hispanics doing black culture, but shitting on us as a people, though.
And then another thing is we can't let
That doesn't
y'all
even make
redirect
sense.
what is hip hop.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
We can't let y'all redirect what is hip hop. Hip hop is
Look
not
at bro.
just poetry.
Look at
Hip hop.
ain't nobody redirecting what is hip hop, but you're not gonna say that yours and be a gatekeeper.
Hold on. You're an outsider, bro. Hip hop deals with 5 elements, bro. Simple as that. It's 5 elements to hip hop.
Let's hear this.
It doesn't deal with poetry. And the thing is, they was all independently created by the black people in America. You guys came along later, and we allowed you guys to be participants in it. Bro, what are you talking about?
False.
No, bro, it's MCing, it's DJ, it was breakdancing, it was graffiti, and it was knowledge of self.
You know what? Let me explain something.
Hold
Let me
on,
explain
hold on,
something.
no,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It wasn't about captivity.
Go
We
ahead.
started a culture in the inner city, the Bronx, New York, to be exact. Yeah, there
Go ahead.
was some people of like Jamaican descent, but they had Black American influence because that's where they were raised.
The Jamaicans even copied the Black Americans, like
started
DJ
telling
Disco
our
Mario.
stories. We started telling our stories via rap. It caught fire. It went worldwide. Every culture is now a part of it, but don't get it misconstrued. That is still Black culture that they're a part of. We can't change the history.
Look at let me explain something, because you just said what I said right now. They were telling the story, right? Through dance, music, and song, right?
Yeah, but it was the Black American experience. This wasn't.
What is black? Is Puerto Rican black? Is Colombian black? Is Cubano black?
They have black in their history.
Listen, y'all was telling y'all
Man,
story
you're
through
so
Manny.
caught up on the word black. That's what keeps you. That's what keeps you in your little box. You're so caught up on that word.
Keep it G. I'm not caught up on the word. What I'm caught up on is anything that we create. No one wants to give us the utmost credit for it. It's like, yeah, y'all created it, but we liked it.
Let me tell you something, though. This is what you're not understanding, bro.
Anything that
Viral.
y'all create, we give y'all the credit. Like
Viral. Check it out. Check it out, Viral. Check it out.
Listen, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Africans, yes, you have some of them who are black, but culturally, they're not foundational Black Americans. There's a difference between Africans and foundational Black Americans. Culturally, we are different. So you can't say that everybody's black, because black people have different cultures. We're not all the same. If you go to Africa, not all Africans are the same. You got Africans with different language, different cultures, and different phenotypes. Africans are not all the same. Hip hop is a foundational Black American creation, not Africans, not Black Caribbeans, not Afro Latinos. Hip hop is a foundational Black American creation, 100%. Now, how you love that?
Let me say this one thing, because I gotta start my show. But let me say one thing, bro. Let me say one thing. This isn't something that you started. This is both of our stories of captivity that we're expressing.
Now he's telling us that hip hop ain't something that we started. We're expressing our grievances through music. So you got a Mexican trying to tell us that we didn't start hip hop. We did it together. We did it together, Holmes. Nah, we didn't do that together. You can't claim hip hop as your own as Black Americans. We did it together. We're both expressing our traumas. We're both expressing our stories through music and dance. When the last time a Mexican made up a dance in hip hop? When the last time a Mexican created a rap style in hip hop? You are reaching. You are delusional. No. Foundational Black Americans can't claim hip hop for themselves. We did it together. We did it together. No, we didn't do it together. I want you to hear this again. He come with this together nonsense. We did it together. We can't claim hip hop as our own.
Is Puerto Rican black? Is Colombian black? Is Cubano black?
They have black in their history.
Listen, y'all was telling y'all
Man,
story
you're
through
so caught up on the word black. That's what keeps you. That's what keeps you in your little box. You're so caught up on that word.
Keep it G. I'm not caught up on the word. What I'm caught up on is anything that we create. no one wants to give us the utmost credit for it. It's like, yeah, y'all
Let me
created
They
it,
try
but
to
we
take
like
credit
it.
for
So
it.
me
we
tell
Try
you
to
something
take
though.
credit for it.
This is what
anything
you're
that
not. This
y'all
is what you're
create,
not understanding, bro.
anything that
Viral,
y'all create, we give y'all the credit. Like, yeah, we
viral.
fuck
Check it
with
out.
this.
The
Check it
same
out,
thing trying
viral.
to say
Check it out. Let me
California
just say. Let me say this
belongs
one
to
thing
us.
because I gotta start my show. But let me
Go
let me
ahead.
say one
Shout out
thing,
to
bro.
Joe.
Let me say one thing. This isn't something that you started. This is both of our stories of captivity that we're expressing through music and dance. So you can't go claim the fame as a single segment group, bro. You can't do that.
It's not both of our stories. This
Bro,
is
we
something
didn't. We
we
not in
created,
captivity,
and
bro.
You
y'all
We
don't.
in
You need a
Memphis
study,
under
bro.
your ass came
You need a
crazy.
study history.
bro, you
We
can't
didn't.
tell me to study my history. I know
Majority of
my
us didn't
history
come
better
over
than
here on no
anybody.
What do you mean
captivity.
study your
Your ass
history? I actually teach your history. What are you talking about?
That's cool, but you can't tell me about my history more than me. The fact that
You
you're
can tell
saying
us
this is
about your
both of our
Asian
stories,
history. Why you don't talk
He
about your
just
Asian?
said basically what this Mexican cat was saying is, I know more about your history than you do. So you need to learn from me because I believe you're ignorant. So if you want to know more about your history as a black man, you need to learn from me. That's exactly what Marvelous was saying. He said hip hop, nah, black foundational black Americans can't claim hip hop for themselves. We did it together as black and Latinos. We did it together. Hip hop is an expression of our struggles, music and dance. We did it together. Black Americans, you cannot claim hip hop for yourselves. That's what he said. Then he went on to say, I know more about your culture than you do. Matter of fact, I teach your culture. Matter of fact, I teach your history as a Mexican. That's exactly what he said.
Asian history that you got?
Music and song, right?
yeah, but it was about captivity.
Go
We
ahead.
started a culture in the inner city, the Bronx, New York, to be exact. Yeah, there
Go ahead.
was some people of like Jamaican descent, but they had Black American influence because that's where they were raised.
The
So
Jamaicans
Black
even
culture
copied the Black Americans, like
started
DJ
telling our
Mario.
stories. We started telling our stories via rap. It caught fire. It went worldwide. Every culture is now a part of it, but don't get it misconstrued. That is still Black culture that they're a part of. We can't change the history.
Look
Just
at.
like mariachi
Let me
music.
explain something because
That's all.
you just said what I said right now. They were telling the story, right? Through dance, music, and song, right?
Yeah, but it was the Black American experience. This wasn't
What is
something
black? Is Puerto Rican black? Is Colombian black? Is Cubano black?
they had Black in their history.
Listen,
Yeah.
y'all was telling y'all
Man,
story
you're
through
you're
mariachi.
so caught up on the
Nobody
word black.
wanted to copy
That's what
that,
keeps you.
bro.
That's what keeps you in
Nobody
your little
wanted to
box.
copy that. We
You're
did it
so caught up
And
on
look,
that
I'm gonna
word.
keep it G. I'm not caught up on the word. What I'm caught up on is anything that we create. No one wants to give us the utmost credit for it. It's like, yeah, y'all
Let me
created
They
it,
try
but
to
we
take
liked it,
credit for
so
it.
Let me
we
They
tell
try
you
to
rewarded
something
it.
take
though.
credit for it.
Anything that
This
y'all
is what you're
create,
not understanding, bro.
anything that
Viral,
y'all create, we give y'all the credit. Like, yeah, we
viral.
fuck
Check it
with
out.
this.
The
Check
same
it out,
thing trying
viral.
to say
Check it out. Let me
California
just say. Let me say this
belongs
one
to
thing
us.
because
They
I
try
gotta
to say
start my
that
show.
same
But
shit
Go
let me
ahead.
say one
Shout out
thing,
to
bro.
Joe.
Let me say one thing. This isn't something that you started. This is both of our stories of captivity that we're expressing through music and dance. So you can't go claim the fame as a single segment group, bro. You can't do that.
It's not both of our stories. This
Bro,
is
we
something
didn't. We
we
not in
created,
captivity,
and
bro.
You
y'all
We
don't.
in
You need a
Memphis
study,
under
bro.
your ass came
You need to
crazy.
study history.
bro, you
We
can't tell
didn't.
me to study my history. I know
Majority of
my
us didn't
history
come
better
over
than
here on no
anybody.
What do you mean
captivity.
study your
Your ass
history? I actually teach your history. What are you talking about?
That's cool, but you can't tell me about my history more than me. The fact that
You
you're
can tell
saying
us
this is
about your
both of our
Asian
stories,
history. Why you don't talk about your Asian history that you got?
And what do you? There you're coming out with some nonsense, homie. Where did you
Man,
get
come on,
Asian from?
man.
Where did you get
Come
that
on,
from?
man. You know you
Where did you
got
get
Asian
that
in
from?
your lineage.
Bro, he don't know
Let
nothing
me
about
know
his
so I can
lineage,
check you
bro.
on that.
He don't know nothing about the lineage talk, bro.
No,
where
you don't know anything
Your
about their
own
lineage
lineage.
talk, homie.
where did
You
the
should watch
Hispanic
my
race
show,
come?
homie. You should watch my podcast so you can learn something about your culture.
Obviously,
Because
look
what
at
you're
it.
Let me
dealing with
learn
right
something
now,
about
Whoa.
wait
my
up.
culture.
What
Then
you're
he
Let me,
went
doing,
on to say you need to watch my podcast to learn something about your culture. In other words, he's calling these guys ignorant. You don't know anything about culture, but if you want to learn more about your culture, you need to listen to my podcast. Let this Mexican educate you about your culture. That's exactly what he said.
It's not both of our stories. This
Bro,
is
we
something
didn't. We
we
not in
created,
captivity,
and
bro.
you
y'all
We
don't,
in
you need a
Memphis
study,
under
bro.
your ass came
You need to
crazy.
study history.
Bro, you
We
can't
didn't
tell me to
come.
study my history. I know
Majority of
my
us
history
didn't come
better
over
than
here on no
anybody.
What do you mean
captivity.
study your
Y'all had
history? I actually teach your history. What are you talking about?
That's cool, but you can't tell me about my history more than me. The fact that
You
you're
can
saying
tell us
this
about
is
your
both of our
Asian
stories,
history. Why you don't talk about your Asian history that you got?
And what do you there you're coming out with some nonsense, homie? Where did you
Man,
get
come on,
Asian from? Where
man.
did you get
Come
that
on,
from?
man. You know you
Where did you
got
get that
Asian
from?
genetic.
Bro, he
Let me
don't know
know.
nothing
Let me
about
know
his
so I can
lineage,
check you
bro.
on that.
He don't know nothing about the lineage talk, bro.
No,
where
you don't know anything
your
about their
own
lineage
lineage.
talk, homie.
where did
You
the
should watch
Hispanic
my
race
show,
come
homie. You should watch my podcast so you can learn something about your culture.
Obviously,
Because
look,
what you're
I'm
dealing
gonna
with
learn
right
something
now,
about
wait
my
up.
culture
What you're
from a
dealing with
Hispanic.
right now
Make
is a
that make
trend,
sense.
homie.
Make
You're
that
stuck
make
in a
sense.
trend
I'm gonna
in
learn
a
something
gang
about a black
mentality, homie.
culture
This has
from a
nothing to do with
Hispanic.
gangs.
Make that
This
make
has
sense,
nothing
my
to do with
nigga.
gangs,
Make
homie.
that shit make sense. I'm gonna learn something about a black culture from a Hispanic. Make that make sense, bro. Make that shit make
I'll
sense.
make a whole lot of
Come
sense
on.
with it.
Come on, bro. That shit don't even
You're in your
sound correct.
feelings right now and you're emotional. That's what it
Nah,
is.
I'm
You're
speaking facts, bro.
emotional and you
Can't
don't know
no
how to deal
Hispanic
with it.
tell a black man
You
about
don't
a
know how
black
to deal
culture.
with it.
Marvelous.
Ain't nobody non-black tell a black man about black culture, and you non-black. It don't
So
work
you're
like
black?
that.
So you're
It don't
black?
work like
Are
that.
you
You
black?
feel me?
Are you black?
Hold on. I don't want to mute y'all. Look, the fact that you just asked this man, what does Asia have to do with Mexican culture? That let me know you ain't studied enough.
listen, he don't know.
So how
Hold
can
on,
you
he
tell
don't.
us about our
Both
culture?
you guys are just piggybacking off of it. Asian has nothing to do with our culture. The Bering Straits
Go
got
look at
nothing to
where
do
the
with our
first.
culture.
Go look at
See,
where
you
y'all
talking. Hold
migrated.
on, you
Where
talking
y'all
about the
existed.
burn. Hold on, you talking about the
You,
burning straight.
and,
But
and
we
and talking
hold
about
on. Mute your
man,
man, so
you
listen
guys
to
are
me, man.
mixed
We
up,
talking
man.
about
You do know
You
the
guys are
earliest
mixed up.
ancestors of
we
the
talking
Mexicans,
about
they
the Pacific
migrated to
slave
Asia, right?
trade from Asians being enslaved in colonial Mexico. Do you not know about the Treaty of
Okay,
Condado,
listen. Listen, what do you talk?
1848?
Of course
You
I
don't
do.
know
Of
about
course
what
I
you're
do. I
talking
talk about it on my show. Maybe you don't know
Okay,
who I
then you should
am,
know
but
what
I
you're
talk
talking
about all
about.
that on my show.
Well, I
Okay,
don't
what
know
this
about
has
your
to
show.
deal with, what this has to deal with, is a Russian dude
Guess what? Hey,
disrespecting you
Marvelous,
guys
Marvelous,
and using
Marvelous,
the words
Marvelous,
from a
Marvelous,
movie. A
Marvelous.
movie that was put out.
We're
That's
not
what it
Marvelous,
has to deal with. You deal
I
you
talk
deal
about
with
this
that
on
person as a
every other
man.
show.
Hold on.
You deal with that person as a man, not a whole neighborhood, homie. You don't want that war. Don't do that. Don't do that.
What war, bro? What
I'm
war?
saying because you're calling out all the Southsiders, homie. You're saying
What
you're
war though? Like,
disrespecting
is
the
you
whole
making
car.
threats?
Don't do that.
What war, bro? We not the only blacks in the world, bro.
He said, you're disrespecting Southsiders. Don't do that. You don't want this war. Viral Way is from Long Beach. They already been in war with Mexicans. What are you talking about, Marvelous? There's plenty neighborhoods in LA who's been in war with Mexicans. What are you talking about? And nobody said anything about war. What we were saying is you need to have more respect for other people's culture. You guys are making money off of our culture. Foundational Black Americans created hip hop. We didn't do it together with no other race. Ain't no we did it together. Oh no, we did it together. That is a bold-faced lie. We didn't do anything together. Foundational Black Americans ain't never needed another race to create no music. This is crazy.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but you don't want to do that, bro. You don't want to do that.
Tell me what I
That's
want
what
to
I'm
do.
saying. That's
No,
what I'm saying.
You can't tell me what I want to do.
Basically,
I
he's
want to
saying,
do
hey,
exactly
you don't want to do that. You don't want to go to war with the Southsiders that say. That's what he's saying in so many words. And the Southsiders don't even claim you. Marvelous, I got to be real with you, man. I've had Southsiders email me and say, man, that dude is this, he's that. He's no good in the hood. You know, so I don't know why Marvelous is trying to speak with Southsiders when the Southsiders have ostracized him, kicked him out of the community. But he come up to a black platform speaking for Southsiders? Man, that's crazy.
what I'm doing and speaking up for my people. The same way y'all speak up for
Then
y'all.
speak up for your people. Then
That's
then
what
teach
I'm
them.
doing. So
Then
hold
teach
your
them.
people accountable.
Because I'm doing that. That's what I'm doing.
By
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
it's a fucking movie link. It was a movie reference. Where in that conversation did he reference the movie?
What did he say?
You know what he said. You
okay?
tell me
Where did he get that line from?
I can't tell you because he never referenced the movie in that convo.
He doesn't have to reference the movie, but he heard it from somewhere, right?
I don't give a fuck where he heard it from.
The bottom line, listen, listen, viral.
Racist. Listen, I heard a lot of derogatory racist words.
Shout out to Deathstone. Deathstone 87 said these people are so obsessed with us that they think they can teach us as culture. These people are so obsessed with us that they think they can teach our culture. Other races don't want us sticking together because they will no longer be able to infiltrate our culture. That's why they don't want us to stick together. Shout out to Desto87 for the super chat. Appreciate that.
I did too.
Towards the Mexican community in movies, that don't mean I'm gonna get on my podcast and say them and say, well, I heard that in a fucking movie.
Okay, then address that man in his podcast, not a neighborhood. Not a neighborhood.
No, I'm addressing that whole culture because that whole culture is trying to get involved in our culture while saying we don't fuck with your culture. So why are you trying to be a part of us?
So then you're the racist then. You're the one saying that you don't fuck with our culture, right? That's what you just said.
That's not what he said. You're not a good listener, Marvelous. What he said is, how can a group of people disrespect our culture while cosplaying our culture at the same time? He said nothing disrespectful about Mexicans. He said, you guys can't disrespect us while cosplaying our culture at the same time. But Marvelous tried to flip it and spin it and say, well, you're the one that's racist. You don't want to mess with Mexicans.
Tell me where
Didn't you just say that?
Tell me where I said that.
Right now, you just said, repeat what you said.
I said
that you don't fuck with our culture.
That whole South Side thing where she said I can't date a black because it's against the rules. That culture wants to rap. That culture gets on our podcast. That culture gets cosigns from our rappers to make money and be a part of our culture. And we welcomed y'all with open arms. But
who's
y'all
we?
turn around.
Who's we?
Who we? Anybody?
Who's we,
black,
homie?
anybody
You're not the
black,
one making a deal. You're not the one signing. You're not a producer. Who are you?
I don't give a fuck. If you black, I'm black. So it's a part of my
You're
language.
not even black. So what are you talking about? Why don't you learn the definition of the word that you're using? Fool, you're brown.
I know the word. I already said it earlier in the show. Yeah, it means dead and not a human and all that.
Okay, look it. That's all I'm gonna say, homie. Don't drag gang shit into it. If she said that statement, then that's what she said. And if that Russian dude said that statement, then hold that man accountable, fool. Don't bring gang shit or politics into it. That's all I'm gonna say, dog. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's what you do.
You're gonna get a lot of youngsters hurt that watch you, bro. That's what you're gonna do.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are, because people are gonna try to make a point out of your emotions. That's why.
Ain't that what I just said? Yeah, look, he running now. Exactly. That's why.
He said you're gonna get a whole lot of people hurt. What about the Mexicans who said racist thing? Man, listen, this is funny, man. This is crazy. Now, C-Star, I don't know who this C-Star guy is, man. I don't know who this C-Star is, man. But you can't be arguing with my moderators. You know, you can't be arguing with the moderators, bro. Now, I've been so busy focusing on my craft, I don't have time to look at the comments because I don't have the time to be studying the comments, because if I'm reading the comments, then I'm not paying attention to what's being said. I got to be able to respond to what's being said to run my show. So I don't have time to read all these comments. Now, you had a guy by the name of C-Star in the comments being disrespectful. I don't know. I'm going to check it out. But listen, homie, if I ask you to not use profanity in the comments, that just is what it is. And my moderators, they're going to enforce my rules. But let's get back to this. I don't want to take away. I don't want to let the trolls stop the flow of the show. Check game. Check it out. Now, he said that he can teach our history better than we can. He said, if you want to learn about your history, you need to tap into my show as a Mexican man. I'm going to teach you as a black man about your history as a Mexican. Then he went on to say, you can't claim hip hop as your own because we did it together. We did it together. You can't claim hip hop as your own as a black man. Oh, Lord. Listen, man. Oh, man. Peace to everybody. I'm going to get up out of here. I wanted to give you guys some dope content today, and that's exactly what I did. Imagine somebody telling us that we can't claim hip-hop for ourselves. We got to give the Latinos credit because we did it together. He said we did it together, and he's going to teach us more about our history. Tammy Jackson. That's crazy. So he going to teach us about our culture, and he said we did it together when it comes to hip hop. Oh man. Anyway, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. Peace to everybody. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Shout out to everybody for blessing the super chat. Shout out to my people who blessed the cash app, man. We did it together. We can't claim hip hop as our own. We got to get the Latinos credit because we did it together. All right, man. Oh man. Peace to everybody. I appreciate it. Make sure that you guys hype the video. Make sure that you hype the video when it uploads to YouTube. Get in the comment section because I see a lot of you people in the live chat, the same people that's in the live chat. When the video uploads to YouTube, get in the comment section and give me your thoughts on everything. We need some engagement in the comment section when this live stream uploads to YouTube. You did. Peace to everybody. I got to get up out of here. I'm gone. Tammy Jackson. All right, but listen, man, we're gonna clean some things up, man. I don't want no arguing or no bickering. I want my people to all get along. Let's get it together, people. Peace. I appreciate it.